hello, hello.
Danny Elira.
How are you, Kokiro?
How are you, Danny Elira?
I'm good, good.
How's everything?
Everything's great. Feeling way better.
Oh, that is always better.
Way less, how was it? Graspy?
Horse.
No. Graspy?
Raspy.
Raspy.
Raspy. Although I like,
Graspy.
if you say graspy, that's great.
Okay. Always wrong.
And yet always right.
And yet always wrong.
Yeah. I wonder if graspy is something.
I guess.
Graspy. I mean, grasp.
If you can
to
grasp something,
is
yeah,
to,
yeah.
Well, not this. That
No,
would
yeah.
be like more like grabby or grubby hands. Grasp is to, kind of like do this, find your way by grasping at something like
So graspy meaning.
clenchy,
It says.
grabby.
No, but it says grasp.
Okay.
So did you mean grasp?
Mm. Yeah, I
Well,
wonder
but here it says graspy
Uh-huh.
definition.
What does it say?
It says something excellent, impressive.
What?
That's what it says here.
I guess. I mean, we were going to have to trust it.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I'm less graspy. I'm
Oh.
less raspy.
You're always graspy.
No.
Well, under that definition,
Well, no. Thank you, but no.
always.
But thank you.
The graspiest of graspy. Daniel Ira.
Kokiro. No.
Mm.
Kokiro.
Mm. Yeah, that was a mix of me and your cousin.
Kokiro.
Yeah.
Ah, Kokiro. Yeah. I was thinking Chompalotes, and I was like,
Oh, no.
what do you mean?
No. Your cousin that is regular
So
here.
just before you say anything, my mom was saying,
Ah.
Hola, soy mis amores. ¿Y Chili? Hola,
Hola,
soy
mis amores.
Hola, mi
soy
lolis.
mis amores.
Chili está jugando por ahí en el solecito. Un besito, mamita. So, ¿qué? ¿Te ayudo?
What were you going to say?
No, go ahead. That's what I was going to say. Mi mamá dice, ja, ja, ja. Un besito, mi lolonguis. Te amo, mami.
Muchos saludos a la Cholis.
So,
yeah.
for today.
Yeah.
And you were going to show the
Oh,
pencils.
yes. I
Go
thought you were
ahead.
going to say something else.
No.
Yeah, I found these in Fera's room.
Yeah.
And I have no idea if somebody gave, I don't think we bought this
No.
for her. So maybe she either got it from a friend or her mother bought these for her.
Yeah.
And they are barely used. I can see some of them are used, actually. Yeah, maybe some of them. But these, I would say, judging from where she got them.
From.
Yeah. They're probably around, I'm going to say $3. $3-4.
I would say less.
Yeah, so these are very cheap, very inexpensive color pencils. So I haven't used them, but the price already tells you that they are quite inexpensive. And a lot of times people think that, good drawings, good paintings are only possible if you use good materials. Great paintings are only possible if you use great materials. And while there is some, I guess in some level, there is some truth to that.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
What's
Is it
that?
a set of 12?
This is 24. No.
Okay, because the set
twice.
of 12
Yeah.
is 5,000 pesos.
Oh, wow. It's like almost $1. So this is like
$1
$2.
for 12, so $2 for
$2
that one.
$2 for the
The
set
whole
of 24.
set. Yeah.
Great. Excellent. So you can't, I mean, I'm guessing you can get cheaper than this, but quite honest, in all honesty, this is quite cheap. We are not using the cheapest of paper, so yes,
No.
I'm going to accept that. But what I was saying, going back to what I was saying, like there is some truth that at some level, if you are if you are familiar with your materials, you will start to recognize the limits of your materials. So let's say if you're using paint, And if you're trying to push the saturation of a cheaper pigment, you'll realize that you're always going to hit a barrier that is just this natural barrier of a pigment that is, what the industry calls like a hue, what the painting industry calls like a hue, which is just a pre-mixed color that is trying to get close to the original pigment that would be more expensive. Usually those hues are grayer. They are cheaper because they have more filler in it. They use cheaper pigments, usually two pigments, to try to get to that close to that more expensive pigment. And if you are if you're very regular with your practice, you're going to start to realize, okay, this yellow ochre is only taking me this far, or this cad red hue is only taking me this far. So there is going to come a point where you just organically yearn for a little more range. If you're completely satisfied with the range you're getting with your cheaper materials, that's perfect. You don't you don't even need to listen to this conversation. But sometimes and this coming from a person that is like, I consider myself like a tonalist painter, so I would never push saturation for the sake of pushing saturation. I don't think it is a requirement when painting at all. I think you can learn about color without really, starting from really high chroma. So if you feel fine with the materials that you do have, which are inexpensive, and you do recognize their range, let's say, and you're totally fine with that, not content as in you have sort of turned away from the paintings that you want to paint, and you've accepted that you're going to paint lesser paintings because you have materials that wouldn't allow you to get to those paintings that you want to paint. Not like that is a whole other issue. Like if you're not painting the paintings that you want to paint because of your materials, you do have to seek those newer materials, perhaps more expensive materials, if you're willing to get close to the things that you want to produce. But if you're genuinely satisfied, if you're, when you look at your painting, you're like, yes, that's the painting that I wanted to paint, then you're fine. You don't need to look further. You're totally fine with whatever substrate you're painting on, whatever brushes you're using, whatever paints you're using. You're perfect. Like, that's totally fine. You don't need anything else. If you want to push yourself because, as a personal objective, you want to start pushing yourself in all sorts of direction, and one of those directions has to do with like higher chroma and the dealing of of pigments that are going to feel like a little more unfamiliar because you haven't quite dealt with high chroma covering pigments. Sure, do that. But I do think that at some point, even if it's just for curiosity, you start to believe that you want to experience, or you start to believe that maybe you need them, or you're just curious about using some of these more expensive pigments. So let's say you've been using a red that you buy it and it's like $10-12 a tube, which is okay-ish for a color, an oil color. And then suddenly you see a cad red that looks super saturated, and you say, wow, that's like so vibrant. I wonder what it feels to paint with that color. And you see the price tag and it's like $45-50, and you go like, oof, I don't know if I want to do like commit to this kind of new price range, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna try it out. And maybe you love it. Maybe it changes your whole painting, changes your life. And in a good way, you were kind of ready to understand what it meant to get something that was a little more expensive, because you've worked hard and trying to squeeze out as much value as your materials, your more accessible materials, had to offer. So I actually think that should be the way to go. My teacher, Steve Assel, took a different sort of route, which is diametrically opposite to what I'm saying, and I totally respect that. But he said painting is hard enough that if you do it with cheaper materials, it's going to be harder. So what you want is to begin understanding painting and producing painting with the aid of really good materials. So, in his mind, a lesser, paint in this in our case, he wasn't super picky about brushes, but he did used to rummage around our brushes and like kind of like huff and puff till he found like one that he found to be suitable. But I think he was just trying to get something that he knew he could work with, rather than just saying, okay, this is shit, this is crap, this is worthless. No, he would never say stuff like that. But Steve was the person that also asked for a very specific palette, and he was quite annoyed if you didn't have the right palette when he was working with you.
What
So
about the substrate? I'm sorry, I'm
yeah,
curious about
he
it.
the one he usually pushed for us with was Masonite,
Okay.
and uh, nicely primed and sanded Masonite.
Okay.
So he told us that for his paintings he would sand. Right now he's been painting on like copper and metal, and um I don't know if he burns, if he heats up the copper, or if he does something to it. You sometimes get those things. I don't know if you've seen in metal that sometimes you get these weird kind of rainbow.
Yeah.
I know that you sometimes get those with like electricity. Like if you do something, I don't know, if you do something to them, you'll get that natural rainbow stain. It almost looks like an oil stain.
Hmm.
So I know he's been working on some metal surfaces, and he has those bits of like swirling iridescent sort of rainbowy color, and he keeps those in some in he keeps the substrate raw
Um.
in some areas, and then he just develops like a portrait, let's say in a somewhere in the rest of the metal surface. But no, he used to ask us for Masonite, and he used to tell us that he himself would cut. If I remember correctly, he would say he would cut the gesso to half and half. So half, he would do 1 part water, like 50% water, 50% gesso. 1 part water, 1 part gesso. So he would cut the gesso by half, and which is it's actually really hard to prime something with with such a watery gesso, I feel, or like a watered down gesso. But he would treat it as if it was almost like glue gesso, like chalk gesso, traditional gesso. So what he would do is, I think he would apply it with a foam brush. He would tell us
Okay.
to apply it with foam brush, and he would sand it. He would sand it
How
very
many
lightly,
layers?
like 10, he would say.
Yeah. Cause
Yeah, around 10 layers. I have that in my brain, like in my mind.
okay.
So he would do it. But yeah, I remember our gessoed panels would look like, it was like a big moppy bristle, like house painting brush for your gesso. And you would do one layer in one direction, the other layer in that direction. But even if you were sanding, like even if you were careful to like extend your gesso as much as you could, not just plopping it down, which is terrible practice,
Hmm.
but just extending it nicely and then sanding in between layers after they've dried, you would see like very fine kind of meshing because of the bristle strokes
Hmm.
that would go on one direction first, and then on the second layer
Yeah.
on. So I would do 3 or 4 layers, I remember,
Okay.
all the time. And he would ask us to gesso front and back.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we would tone them. He said we could tone them with, it could be just burnt umber. He would tone his with not all the time, but he would tone his with like super high chroma, like a cad red or cad orange, which is insane. But yeah, so that would be our surface. I think most of us throughout the whole like career, not career, like
Class.
carrera. Yeah, I translated it. No,
Oh,
through
the
at
career.
least
You
through the
can
yeah,
can't you say
right.
career?
No. No, that was my
Degree? I don't
no,
know
no.
the.
There's the class through
Pero
art
cómo se
school.
dice carrera?
Art school. I don't know.
Degree.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So through the 3 years that I took Steve's class, it was I think I very rarely saw people bringing like linen, pieces of linen or something
Hmm.
like that. Sometimes, but it wasn't that common,
So
to
you
be
would say he was picky with
honest.
the oils,
Very picky with
but
what you
not the
bought.
brushes and
He actually would ask us to bring very specific pigments, very
yeah.
specific. He would say Italian brown pink from Holbein,
Okay.
which I think it was literally that color was literally one color that he would make us buy in that specific brand,
Hmm.
because I don't think Italian brown pink was, you could get that anywhere else. So it was tough because you would go to um you would go to the art store and you would just go like, "Hi, do you have like Italian brown pink for Holbein?" Or and then you would look at the price and it was like 30 or $40.
Oh God.
And we were like, "What the fuck? Like, why would
And you
you
would have
get?"
to
Well,
buy
imagine
20
that you
more.
don't know how to paint, and you're just asked to buy colors that are just expensive. I
Yeah.
mean, and within those colors, there were like, I mean, cad yellow, cad orange, cad red. So three cadmiums, which makes it
Mm.
expensive. The cinnabar greens, I think were expensive too. What was expensive there? He asked for cerulean cobalt, ultramarine, and Prussian. I mean, four blues.
Yeah,
Jesus
that's what I
Christ.
was saying. It's not only that you had to buy that color, but that the
No, no, it
palette
was a
was
whole
so
thing.
wide.
No, it was a whole thing.
I mean, it was so big that
Yeah, no, no,
it
no. It
just
was,
adds and adds and
yeah,
adds.
it was too much. It was way, way too much. I think earth tones. He was like yellow ochre. I don't remember if raw sienna. I think he had gold ochre, like transparent gold ochre. I think he asked for. So yellow ochre, transparent gold ochre, transparent red oxide, burnt sienna, and burnt umber. I
Oof.
think so. He didn't do raw umber. No,
No,
no, neither
that's
did
the one I
Max.
used
Yeah, neither did Max.
when I studied.
Yeah, so it was just absurd. It was almost like five for each, like hue. It was too much. It was too much. For the greens, it was like Cinnabar Green Light, Cinnabar Green Deep, and Viridian. He loved Viridian. Um, Reds, it was Cad Red. He didn't do like a rose or like magenta, but he was like Cad Red and alizarin crimson. I think my Cad Red alizarin comes from both. No, not from both Max and Steve. Max asked for permanent rose, I think. Um, so those were reds, not too many there. An orange, which I never understood, but I was like, okay, fine. Well, no, I do understand because he loved his artificial warm lights, so that gave him like a huge range.
Hmm.
Yellows, we had like Naples Yellow Light Extra, Brilliant Yellow, which was a Rembrandt color. Naples Yellow Light Extra, which is another Rembrandt color. And we had and we had Cat Yellow. I don't think we had like a lemon yellow or anything like that.
How do you even fit all those
No,
colors in it?
it was
Did
just
you have to buy like a
your whole palette.
humongous palette?
Yeah, your whole palette. And it was ridiculous because you had your palette, and every time you would sit to paint, you would just go ploop, ploop, ploop,
Oh
ploop,
God.
ploop, 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 ploop. And it was just this ridiculously large palette. And I don't know. I don't know. Eventually, you kind of normalize all of that, but it is ridiculous. Now that I think back, I'm like, what were we doing? I mean, you can teach somebody how to paint with like primaries. You can teach somebody how to paint with like a very baroque palette of very limited colors. So it was too much. I feel it really was too much. So my philosophy obviously is quite different from my teachers in the sense that for many reasons, I just never thought that you had to be beholden to like a brand or a color or 20 colors. And it is in the interest of an artist to just be super flexible in the sense that sometimes you don't. Sometimes somebody for example, when we were in Menorca recently, there was a person that was attending my workshop, and they lost her luggage. Lost it. Like, it's not that, didn't get there. No, they lost her luggage. So she had all her materials, all her paints, and I gave her, paper, and I gave her my palette. I gave her my paints.
Yeah.
And she was totally cool with it. But that's the way you have to be. Like, hey, if I didn't bring my own stuff, I need to be able to say, hi, could I borrow some brushes and just pick some brushes and paint with those? Hi, could I borrow some paints? Just, whatever they have, just pick it and paint with it. And hi, do you have a surface? Can I paint in it? And you just grab that surface and paint on it. I really do feel that it is on our best interest to be capable of saying, I know how to adapt. And that's not an easy thing to teach yourself if you're just constantly reinforcing the fact that you are not able to paint if you don't have exactly the right,
Mm-hmm.
the paints that you usually buy, or the brushes that you usually buy, or the substrate that you usually paint on. Um, do those things make the painting act more familiar to you? Sure, of course. And are you more comfortable? Of course. If that's what you love to do, perfect. But you have to be able to say, wow, this surface is horrible. Let me adjust. These
Mm-hmm.
paints are terrible. Let me adjust. These brushes are not great. Let me adjust. I think that that's the mark of somebody who's just who really understands how to teach and how to be a painter. My teachers, obviously, they did have that ability. Usually they would ask for things, but people didn't have them, and it was they would get mad, but it was okay, and they would just paint with what they had because of course they could. But I do think that it's a great practice if you allow yourself to understand that these things can change and they can be gone for many reasons. Perhaps they don't produce them anymore, or maybe they get too expensive for us and we just can't buy them anymore. And so it's always good to just say, I like using, whatever I'm using currently, and I'm okay if I have to say goodbye to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally fine. I'll readjust and reinvent myself if need be. And so that's usually a question we usually get, like a very recurrent question here about materials, which is when people see me draw, um,
What brand
yeah,
is
what
it?
what
What
what color
pencil?
pencils do you use?
Or like,
And
is it a specific
yeah,
pencil for like under drawing,
for
for an under
underdrawing, right, right,
painting,
right,
for a painting afterwards?
right.
So,
So I'll start by saying I have used water soluble pencils only because those were the ones that I started using at that moment, and I realized they were water soluble, and that's what I used, and it
yeah,
was
like you
fine.
happen to found
Yeah,
them.
it was just completely coincidental.
Yeah.
And when I would apply, because at that time I was applying as a primer, I was applying a transparent acrylic binder. The Because it was kind of like a wet, binder. I mean, most primers are. It would actually pick up some of the pigment and sort of dilute it and tint the substrate with whatever color I was using, and I would usually use like some hue, some red hue or violet hue, or like magenta hue. I like it. I don't. I There's no reason for it, but I just like it. Um, and people were like super curious about that, but that was just, I don't know. It just happened to be like that, but there was no real reason for picking something like that. It was just like a happy accident that I was like, oh, I like how it stains, and that's about it. But I remember when I ran out of those colors, like I eventually just used them up, and I started using regular color pencils, so I wouldn't get as much as of the staining, and it was fine too. It was totally fine. And yeah, so and then right now that I don't prime my substrate, what I've been doing is I just apply like a, if I'm going to paint on top of the drawing, I just apply some liquid on top of the paper, like straight on top of the paper. It's terrible practice, but it's a choice. It's my life. Don't worry about it. So I do that, and the liquid actually picks up some of the pigment also, and it stains a little bit. If it's a water soluble one, it'll stain a little bit more. And if it's a color pencil, it can still stain because a lot of the sort of dust, pigment dust, is just there, so it just kind of spreads it, and it looks really nice.
Yeah.
It softens the drawing quite a lot. Also, I have a post to show that. Well, not a single post, but weeks back, I showed a detail of a drawing of Fer that I was doing of the little portrait, and then I showed what happened to that drawing when I just applied liquid on top of it, and it just like stained the whole thing. And I liked it. I did a heavier drawing, let's call it, initially because I knew that it was going to soften when I applied the liquid. So it was really nice. It was very nice. But yeah, but that's what I've been doing, and I found these. So let's cut to
I was
the.
checking those and they are unused.
They are,
I
yeah.
think you were talking about the yellow. No, it had like a little particle.
No, but I can tell because of the nibs are like lower.
You sure?
So she used this one. She used that one. I can tell the green one. Look, the green one. It's nubbier. See that?
Okay.
It's a little. I mean, barely used.
I
Let's
think
call them
she
barely used. She probably went
maybe
like
did like her name
that. Yeah.
and that was it.
So based on how I usually work, let's grab the ones that I would.
Gravitate.
Yeah,
towards.
I haven't touched these, so I have no idea how these work. Yeah, let's grab.
To be honest, I had no idea those existed.
Me neither. I just saw them. So I hope she's. Oh, she would be okay.
Should be.
Of course.
Yeah.
She would be like, yeah.
Those
Let me
bedrooms,
know.
Sam and Fer, are like Narnia.
Yeah.
When I
you could
was
find anything there.
yeah. We were going to go to the movies.
Yep.
So I went to her room to help her like pick up things from the floor because maybe Chili would get into the room.
Yeah.
So I was like puppy proofing the house.
Okay.
And we found so many
Okay.
things. Do you need it? Ya te la paso.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Drop the color pencil. Great. I can't move here. I barely. Yeah, no. No, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but she had some pantuflas, how do you call them?
Slippers?
Slippers, yeah.
Yeah.
And we were putting those in the closet and an eraser pulled from a slipper. And I was like,
Okay,
Fair?
Yeah.
Is
sure.
this an eraser? And she was like, oh, my eraser. Thank
Yeah,
you.
What did you do?
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Narnia.
start you can tell that that there's like filler. There's a lot more filler because they're they feel like really waxy. But it's fine. It's totally fine.
They feel weird in the hand.
Super light.
Yeah.
Super light.
Like having nothing in your hand.
I know. But again, if you do a bad drawing with it, it's your own fault. I mean, you should be able to just say.
Oh, it says wood-free color pencils.
Okay, so there's a good thing to them.
Well,
I
maybe it's
guess.
plastic, so I don't know how
Oh.
good it is.
Oh, is it? No, it's paper.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's kind of like it does. I don't, but it does look like
I think
pressed
it's
paper.
plastic.
No, I don't think so. No, is there materials? Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna say the materials there.
Well, this is so funny. I mean, Colombia. It says wood-free color pencils.
Yeah.
And here it says composition, wood.
in
Composición, madera.
Okay, yeah. This is, I mean, perfect for us.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yes.
No, but this had like something beneath. Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
but
I was
they
gonna
seem
ask
totally
you.
fine.
Oh, but you have a sharpener there. Do you need an eraser? I have erasers.
No, we're gonna try not to heavily erase.
Okay.
Only if I really need to erase, I'll
Okay.
erase. But
Let me know, because I have soft, medium, and hard erasers. If you need those.
only if we need to.
Okay. So let's say hi.
Yes, please.
Drew Thompson was saying hello, OPL.
Hey,
Drew, how are you? Nigel was saying hello. Hello, Nigel. How are you? Pato was saying a drawing live stream. I love it. Hola, Dani Nico. Hey, Pato.
Hello.
And
Yeah, I
yes, a
used to call
drawing.
that used to be my brother's nickname in school.
Pato?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's still people that call him that. Yeah. I have no idea why, by the way.
But I mean, you had a nickname too. I think some nicknames don't make sense.
Yeah, most I would say. Yeah.
I think I never had. Well, no, I was gonna say I never had, and then I remember all the nicknames my sister has
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
So yeah, and they
You
definitely
two are
don't
like
make sense.
ridiculous with that.
Anormal dice, hola, hoy los estaré escuchando nada más y en lo que pueda los veré. Un abrazo. Un
A
abrazo,
trabajar,
anormal,
anormal, a
a
trabajar.
trabajar, por favor. Briley Moreno was saying, hey guys, looking forward to hearing about this. Just bought my first overpriced tube of flake white out of obligation, and honestly, I still prefer the titanium white at the
There you
moment.
go. You don't have to. Don't feel weird if you don't. If it doesn't do anything for you, don't feel weird. Like don't feel like you're obligated to like it. I'm gonna take my cap off.
Go ahead.
No cap today. Um. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was gonna put it here, but that's
Yeah, I
okay.
don't know why
Um.
and for a second, I was gonna put it on.
You know,
Why? I don't know.
Briley has like I think it's too big for you. This one, it's really big.
No, I mean I could. Ow, but I have like a hair
Oh,
claw.
okay. Oh no, it actually doesn't look bad on you.
Well, but I have a claw.
Yeah, but it's
So
because
maybe
the
that's
back of your
why.
head is like. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
It's
actually
what?
big. It's actually a little big for me too. I haven't been able to like get like the right cap. I feel. Briley, I saw you. I don't know how to say it. If I saw you taking your dog out for a walk, or your dog was taking you out for a walk.
Is it
It's
a humongous dog?
no, no, no. It was a hairy dachshund, and he was carrying.
Energetic.
No,
Oh.
he was carrying the dachshund.
Okay.
So that's how I have to take Chili out. Chili is more used to Danny taking her out,
Yeah.
and if I take her out, she just won't walk. So I
She
have to pick her up and go like 4 blocks from here, and then drop her, and then she'll start to walk back to the apartment.
Yeah.
So that is when I take her out, that's how I walk her. I just
You
carry
carry
her
her. Yeah.
and then drop her and she'll walk back.
Okay, but that's amazing. I mean, she's still peas and poos.
In the
Poops?
in
I don't
the
know how to say.
in the in going back to the apartment, then she'll do what she needs to do. But
So it's a success.
I guess so, but it doesn't, I see everyone else walking their dogs and I'm the idiot carrying a dog.
But she's tiny.
I know.
I mean, it's not like we have a labradoodle
I
and you
know,
have
but
to
they're
carry
probably
the labradoodle.
I mean, that would be amazing. Like, sorry, it doesn't like to walk. I'm sorry. That would be awesome, actually. Yeah, but it's I'm always thinking like people are probably like, oh, look at this idiot. Like, oh, I don't like
People
my
don't
dog.
care.
Oh no, I've seen the dog people care. Oh, I've seen the looks. I've seen the
No.
looks.
Maybe
I-
because
dog
they
people always
recognize
care.
Chili.
Fucking dog people.
No, maybe they recognize her.
They're probably thinking like somebody stole Chili.
Yeah. But it's because she's not used to going to walks with you. I think
Yeah.
she'll get used to
No,
with time.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Saint Gales dice, hay una expresión mallorquina que es, no sé cómo se pronuncia, pero voy a decirlo.
Hmm?
Voy a decirlo como lo leo, como lo leería.
Mm-hmm.
Amses, Eines, Fanses, Feines.
Y eso es
Con
como,
sus herramientas hacen sus faenas.
y eso es
querían-
un catalán
De pronto catalán.
mallorquí o menorquí, dijo.
Mallorquí.
Pero en Mallorca sí también, también es catalán. No sé, yo sé que Menorca, nosotros sabemos que Menorca sí, pero...
Dice, con sus herramientas hacen sus faenas, queriendo decir que el trabajo hecho, el trabajador y las herramientas son inseparables. Uno
Ujú.
falla, todos fallan.
Eso es. Bonito, bonito.
Sí, pero eso va un poco en contra de lo que tú decías.
No, pero es que las herramientas... Cuando uno
Porque
dice
si una herramienta
herramientas,
falla, todos fallan. Ahí yo creo que sería más como cuando la gente dice, si no tengo este papel específico, no puedo pintar.
pero es que por el hecho de ser herramienta, no quiere decir una extraordinaria herramienta, yo a veces pienso. O sea, no sé.
No, porque, o sea, bueno, como yo lo entiendo, es que si algo de esa ecuación cambia, ya la ecuación no funciona. Y eso yo creo que es lo que tú estás diciendo que no. Y que yo en eso estoy de acuerdo, que es como que uno debería, como, pues claro que uno puede tener las cosas que le gustan, pero que si de pronto esa cosa no está, no signifique que entonces uno deja de ser artista porque no tiene las herramientas que siempre usa.
Denos el contexto. Creo que Dani tiene razón. Coméntenos qué
Sangales.
sangales, sandalias, si es por ahí.
Mm, Javi Have was saying hello, hello, OPL/chat.
Ooh,
Hey, Javi Have. Happy to have you.
yeah. Long have no seen.
Yeah, long have no Javi.
Yeah, how
And
are
you're
you?
here.
Have
Gabriel Pozzo was
pazza,
sending a waving hand and a
pazza,
happy face. Hey, Gabriel.
pazza,
Julia Tovar was
tavar.
saying hello, love a drawing session. Yes, a drawing
Yeah,
session.
and it's a very academic
July.
drawing session, by the way. I'm trying to gear up towards my Rome workshop, where just going to Rome, you kind of feel like you have to be more classic, in your approach. It just it is like almost uh, um, inherent pressure of being in Rome, right? You go see Bernini, and you're like, come on, how do you not just the next day that you're painting from the model, how do you not just want to like give a gesture and grace and
Hmm.
turn it and look for anatomy and look for structure, and or if you're seeing Caravaggio, like how could you not do the same, right? Like try to model from light to dark and experience that. But I'm trying to, because I always feel that little bit of let's say historical geographical pressure when I'm working there. I'm trying to liberate myself a little bit from it, and I want to see if this on this workshop I could be more like, hey, let's push. It's going to be 2 weeks of pushing, so we're going to get our dose of gorgeous history when we do our museum tours, and we go check out like Caravaggio and Bernini and Pietro Cortona, his incredible ceiling. Um, I think when we went to see the Pietra Cortona, I think that's when we went to see the ecstasy of Saint Teresa Bernini.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was both of us that we finished that day, and we were like, I think we have time, and we were like half an hour walk from the chapel, and we were like, oh, let's go.
Oh,
Let's
yeah,
try to
yeah,
get. I
yeah.
think it was that day because we were talking about that today.
Yeah, but was it that
I,
day?
I'm almost sure. I'm almost sure. Yeah, almost positive.
Because I do remember that we gave back our listening device, like the tour device, and we went there.
No, 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 because those are only. Oh, I don't know if we do have. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we do have to have those microphones for Pietra Cortona also. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember. So I remember the day we went there,
Yeah.
both of us. We gave that thing back
Yeah.
and we walked there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it could be that day.
Yeah, I think so. I
Maybe,
was trying to think about it.
maybe.
But yeah, so I do want to acknowledge the sort of classical presence and just the force that is. I mean, in Rome, you could go and see the Belvedere torso, the Laocoon. I mean that you could see like these incredible sculptures that are just part of our history, our Western history, and you are like, I don't know, it almost feels like you're bound to them, and when you work, it's just you almost want to feel like you almost feel like you have to be more disciplined than you are, or you understand that the discipline has to be different than the one that you have. And in truth is that you don't have to.
Mm.
You can just be inspired by it and pushed by it, but you can do whatever you want. Like as in anything in art, you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying about the pressure because in Rome, it's not like you have to go to a museum to be reminded of that.
Ah, it's anywhere.
But you can
Everywhere.
be just like buying a drink
Yeah.
and
Oh, you
no,
lush.
a drink as in
I
as in
know. I
water.
know.
I don't
I had to
even
deal with that
I
a
don't
year
even
ago.
drink there. No,
Yeah.
I had
Danny was like
gelato.
half a day sober
No,
out of the,
I didn't have
18 days
no,
that
no,
we
no.
were
I didn't
there.
have a drop of alcohol.
No, you had a
No,
waterfall of
no, no, no.
alcohol.
I was saying drinks because that's
See.
how you would do the translation here, but beverages.
Okay. If
So you can
that's
have
what
a
you want to
bottle
call.
of water
Yeah.
and you can be walking and you go to a piazza
Uh-huh.
and you just see art everywhere. So
Oh yeah.
you're just like constantly reminded about not only art, but just like the best examples
Oh
of
yeah.
art.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
For sure. For sure.
faux show. Me dio una fatal. Johnny Matatiao was saying,
Johnny,
hello, everyone. Hey, Johnny.
how you doing? How's the beer, Johnny? I need to try that beer. We have to go to
Johnny's house to try the
I
beer.
don't know if it's Johnny. Is it remind me? Is it L.A. or is it like L.A. but also Hawaii or something? Something like that. I mean,
How can it be
it's
LA
either
but
like
also
somewhere in the
Hawaii?
Pacific or L.A.
Um, Isabel Olmedo dice hola chicos. Hola Isabel.
Isabel.
Catherine was saying hi guys, Chilean chat.
Hey,
Hey
Catherine.
Catherine, how are you? Mauricio Paraguazú dice hola a todos. Hola Mauricio.
Can you see the
Bom
drawing?
dia.
I'm
Kind of.
wondering if
No, we can. You
Yeah?
know, maybe I could lower it because I have it in
No, it's okay. I
oh
mean,
07.
trust me, I'm drawing. So this is almost like let's call it a
No, but we
blind
can see it.
contour drawing.
No, we can see it.
Yeah, it'll begin to appear once I've gathered enough courage to like say I am committing.
How are you feeling the pencils?
Fine. Honestly, it's just I have, I'm one of those people that I like I could fake it or I could try to sound like I'm super sophisticated. If you give me a great wine, I'm gonna be like, oh, this is great wine.
Well, I don't know if wine. I don't know if you would know what good wine.
Well, I would just say like it tastes great. I can say it's
but
good.
someone can trick you and give you a
That's the thing.
D1
But then you also
wine.
do wine. But also if you give me like wine out of a box and I would be like, you know what? This is really good.
Amazing.
This
yeah.
is this is pretty
It
incredible
tastes
wine.
very
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, and so all of those things unfortunately are lost on me. I'm not super sophisticated. I don't have a super sophisticated palate for sure. And I do think that that extends to many aspects of my life that I tend to say, "Oh, this is good. This is really good." I don't know why I'm like that, but I just kind of feel like things are always good enough for me. I kind of have that. I don't know. And sometimes to a fault. Like I'll convince myself that things are good in, for example, places that maybe the bed is horrible and I'll be like, "Oh, it's good. It's okay. It's a good enough bed."
It depends on
And
the
I'll
bed.
have like horrible nights. I remember not when we stayed together last year, but when I was by myself 2 years ago, the bed was terrible in the place that I stayed in Rome, and I couldn't sleep like any of the days. And I remember just waking up and I was saying like, oh, it's fine. And I couldn't sleep because we like the window was right on top of a bar. So it was just so loud.
Hmm.
The Euros were happening. Um,
I remember you
it was
telling me that.
horrendous.
Yeah.
It was horrendous. And I was like, it's fine. I always remember my brain is like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but I know you. And with beds, I would say that can be terrible for you because you have a terrible sleep and that makes it worse.
Yes.
So for example, in my case, I can sleep in the kitchen table. I can sleep in a pillow, in a cloud. I mean, in something
Okay.
super soft, something super hard, I'll be okay. And I can have 8 hours of sleep. You can be in the best bed ever, and you can barely have 5 hours of sleep.
No, yeah, I usually don't.
So I think that beds are very complicated for you because, like, with the pass of days,
Okay. As I'm getting
You
older,
feel
is
them.
that
No, no,
is
no.
that
I
is
mean,
that a nice way
if
of
you
saying?
no, no, no. If you're having
You
a
old fart. Yeah,
if you're
don't.
having a bad bed
Uh-huh.
for a week,
Yeah.
you can be fine the first 2 days, but then you can't.
But, you know, but
I've been with you in terrible
I
beds.
know, but trust me, I've been when I do workshops, sometimes yeah, and people are like super super nice. I've been in Airbnbs that are just
No, I know
terrible.
you have to, but
Yeah.
it's not like you're like you force your brain to be okay with it,
Maybe yeah, I
but
always tell
everything's
myself it's
hurting.
fine. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So Johnny Matatiao was saying, haha. So it was not LA or Hawaii.
Okay, what
It
is
was
going on?
Oakland.
Oh my god.
It was haha. It was no. Johnny was saying,
Okay.
haha, I'm in Oakland, near San
Oakland.
Francisco.
Okay, there we go. San
I work at a
Francisco.
beer bar and bottle shop. No time to make beer. I paint when not bartending. But yeah, come visit and I will supply good beers.
There we go.
So somewhere between LA and
Somewhere in the
Hawaii.
Pacific, somewhere
Yeah,
in the middle of the Pacific, there's a bar that Johnny is
Johnny works in.
yeah.
Bruno V was saying, well, well, well. Hello, evil monkeys.
Oh, there we go.
Bruno.
Once
And Bruno
again.
was saying, my phone died yesterday and I missed the stream.
Oh, don't
And a
worry. You didn't
crying
miss
emoji.
anything.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah,
Didn't miss anything.
at all.
Nothing.
Julia dice, el otro día Artu y yo dibujábamos con palillos que quemamos en la fogata. Fue lindo recordar que eso es todo lo que se necesita.
Muy lindo. Muy cierto también.
Sergi Arts dice, Nico, ¿cómo estamos? Y Dani también.
Sergi.
Hola, Sergi. Todo muy bien. Todo súper. ¿Cómo está Sergi? Stephen Murphy was saying, I love being able to pick up and draw with what's available. I find it so satisfying what I can get with a cheap point pen.
Bold point pen?
Ball
That's
point
my
pen
my brand, Danny. Don't
or
please.
colored pencil,
Yeah.
etc. Yeah.
Steve would use a Pilot for his ballpoint pen. Prior to Steve, I mean, I didn't know anything prior to Steve. I mean, I don't know. I knew art, based on my comic book illustration, like fascination, I would say. But my mom introduced me obviously to a bunch of art when I was younger, but not a lot of contemporary stuff. Like contemporary figurative stuff, I didn't know anything about for sure. And it was so weird to me to think that the ballpoint pen that I would associate with like scribbles that I would do in a notebook, little monster things that I would do in the back of my notebook, or just taking notes and they would take over my notes when in school. Steve would take a Pilot. Those things that it's the it's not the pen with the holder or anything. It's just the thing that's inside.
El cartucho?
Yeah, but what do you
Cartridge?
call that? The cartridge. Yes, I think it's a cartridge. So he would just draw with the cartridge. So it was like the very thin, like
Is it comfortable?
I don't know, but maybe that's what made him draw very kind of. You have to, for you to draw like with ballpoint pen, because you don't want it to vomit.
Yeah.
And leave like little splatters all over the place. You first have to have like a good pen so that you know that the ink is always flowing, and you have to have like the craziest lightest touch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very light touch, which Steve obviously had. He's like a genius at doing that. But it was the first time that I saw somebody like just grab a pen and then suddenly this face started to emerge that was like like incredible.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? That's a pen.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
The
I
same
couldn't think
pen.
about it. Yeah, I couldn't think of
Yeah.
a pen as a tool that would be able to do those things. But yeah, in his hands, it was pretty amazing.
I think I tried once to do a drawing with
Yeah?
a pen.
How did it go?
I quit like 5 minutes into it because of how
Yeah.
I hold the pencil.
Oh yeah, you're left.
when I
you're
write-
almost like you're a left-handed, right-handed.
Yeah. It
drafts
sounds
person.
weird, but that's like the best description of it. And when I was at at school,
Yeah.
like when I had to take notes, I could never use a pen that would leave marks if you just put your hand on
Oh,
top
you would
of
never
it.
be able to use like a gel pen, for
Exactly.
example.
I hated those
Yeah,
because
those
I
are not
couldn't.
good
I
for
mean,
you.
they
Yeah.
were always like getting ink around. And that happened to me because I was like twisting my hand to do the drawing.
Yeah.
So this part of the hand would just like
Always
scrub the.
rub out.
Yeah,
Yeah. You would.
terrible. So I quit
Yeah.
first and last time I tried it.
Yeah. You would, or you would be able to draw, but and that's what, for example, inkers. A lot of inkers do. Although, like
With the
India ink.
paper.
No, not quite. But you just go from left to right. You just ink everything. You
Yeah,
just
but
draw
also I do
everything
like
here.
this.
I know. I
So
know.
I would have to go from left to
Or
right,
down,
but from down
bottom
to
up.
up.
Yeah, bottom up and left to right. So
Y-
you can work around it.
Yeah,
It sounds ridiculous,
yeah.
but you
Well,
could
I
do
could.
it.
Yeah, but I didn't.
No, no, no. And it's it's painful. It's annoying.
Mm, Adrian Balser, or as I
Adrian.
say,
Adrian.
Adrian.
Yeah.
Adrian was saying, "Hey yo, it's been a while. I missed you guys.
Wow.
Hey Adrian, how are you?
How's
I
that
missed
trip
you
going?
too." Pato dice, en Argentina Pato es el apodo de Patricio.
No, mi hermano es Alejandro, entonces.
Pero pues Pato de pronto nos está diciendo que se llama
Ah,
Patricio.
no, de pronto es como yo no. Sí, yo soy Alberto.
Acá se usa mucho es con Patricia. ¿Pato?
Sí, sí. Más,
Sí.
más con Patricia. Es que Patricio no es
No
es
es
un
muy común
nombre
en Colombia, no. Hugo Araujo dice hola. Hola, Hugo. Dana was saying hello, everyone. Hey,
Hey,
Dana.
Dana.
Felipe Neves dice hola. ¿Qué mezclas con la pintura al óleo?
Normalmente nada. No, solo la pintura. Solo pintura del tubo, pues.
Déjame ver.
Y en ocasiones uso un medio alquídico que se llama liquid, pero contadas ocasiones. O por lo menos trato de regular el uso del medio bastante.
So, it was.
Or are you
I did it.
translating?
Yeah. It was in Russian,
Yeah.
so I did the translation. So
Okay.
Julia Costina, Julia Costina
Yeah.
was saying hello. Hey,
Hello.
Julia.
Julia.
Let me see. Platini Athens
Ooh.
was saying hola from Athens, Greece.
Oh, that's awesome.
Enjoy the summer and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you. St. Gales was saying brightly, I'm excited to try flake white.
Flake a white.
Flake white, but it's too expensive. For now, I use titanium white with gel mediums. 50-50 consistency. But I'll try out the gambling flake white replacement. Y St. Gales dice, y sí, en Mallorca se habla catalán, aunque el idioma tiene nomenclatura diferente dependiendo del territorio. Y dice, yo lo veo como que buenas herramientas no hacen un buen trabajo de por sí, pero malas herramientas dificultan el trabajo en general.
Sí, esa era
Están
más la
dibujando,
filosofía de mi profe.
están dibujando a un San Sebastiano, ¿eh?
Podría ser, me faltan las flechas, pero digamos un contraposto en el torso para hacerle como eco a a ese carácter clásico de la Roma a la que voy a
La
asistir.
Roma.
La Roma.
Oye, no me he podido tomar mi té. He tratado y me he quemado.
El mío ya es iced tea.
¿Sí?
Ujú. El mío ya.
No, me toca como...
Bueno, pero si Sandalia dijo que es un San Sebastián, ya quiere decir que el dibujo está apareciendo.
Se alcanza, es que se alcanza a ver.
Okay, so the drawing is slowly appearing, so
No,
that's a
it's-
good thing.
It is there.
Okay, so a lot of what I was doing at first is just finding, angle of the shoulders, which is always going to give you the angle of the chest, if you are not confident about the angle of your rib cage of your chest, there's a couple of things that you could do. You could just always check the angle of your shoulders, and that's going to give you a hint. And you should maintain that, up until your chest, because then, in this in the upper abdomen is actually like soft. It's a soft area that begins to transition to the bigger mass that is going to dictate like that change in angle, which is going to be the hips. So if you're unsure, just always look at your shoulders. Look at the nipples also. Those are going to be good. I mean, not perfect because the arms could be shifting in different positions. Like this person could have had their arm raised, which actually deforms the nipple a little bit because the nipple has to conform to the chest, to what the chest is doing. So if the chest is extending itself, then the nipple has to, becomes like an ellipse that actually conforms to that extension, let's say. But in very classical academic poses, if you're unsure, you can just test to see if that angle is maintained, and then when you go down to the hips, just try to find both, both where the obliques are, and that's going to give you like where your roughly where your hips are going to be. Um, if you're like me and you've only had obliques for like 3 years of your life, maybe four if I count the moment where I was born, um, yeah, you can always find cues as to how one side of your torso is extending, it's kind of outstretching, while the other side has to behave like an accordion, and it has to compress. And there's usually all this space, for example, that's between the rib cage and the hips, that is soft tissue. All of this is soft because it has to be soft just so that we can actually change direction. So all this soft space that's actually occupies quite a big space on the left side that's being extended has to compress and becomes like a tiny, tiny space. It's almost like a sandwich that is being pressed by the two big loaves. I've never done this analogy, like a big loaf of bread, but the big heavy loaves that are the rib cage and then the hips. So it's actually super super nice when you have models. I mean, it doesn't happen with all body types, and it doesn't mean that body types that don't showcase these things, like how our mechanics, superficially work, that those are bodies that are not worth drawing or painting. Like that's absurd. I think the most beautiful thing about painting a ton of models is that you realize that all bodies, while we all have the ability as human beings to mechanically do the same things, like our bodies work in exactly the same way, roughly. I mean, some people have like shorter torso, longer legs, stuff like that. But mechanically, we are built to behave and to, move and to achieve, things in the same manner. Um, it's really nice how those mechanics manifest through us all sorts of body types. I've never been one to think that sculpting has to be sculpting or drawing or the the attention to form has to always come from bodies that are just like a Western classical version of like this beautiful like mechanically adept body, let's say. No, it's to me, bodies are just wonderful to look at, and one of the most beautiful things that you can do when you're painting the model is just to say, wow, I you know like, I'll give you an example. To me, I'm most bored when, for example, there's a male model that you see them clothed, and as soon as you see them take their clothes off, they start posing, and you see a body that you could imagine. Like, if I had to like close my eyes and say, what does a male body kind of look like, and I imagine that body, I'm like, okay, that's the body that we're drawing, and that's totally fine. Which is kind of weird because that's usually what a lot of like athletes have, like very kind of chiseled or sculpted bodies, but at some point they kind of feel samey in a strange way because most of the anatomy starts to manifest superficially. So it's almost like having like an um what do you call that? Like the doctors that do the ¿cómo se llama? Los
Torso?
No, 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 los que trabajan en autopsias como it's almost like an autopsy. Like you're seeing like you're seeing how the body, that show bodies of the Belgian, is it? The Belgian dude
Yeah.
artist that does all the kind of flayed bodies, and you can see all the anatomy, all the muscles and tendons and bones, and you kind of start feeling that the body is that way, and it's great, it's beautiful. But I enjoy the most when I see the person, I meet the person that's going to pose for us, it's going to work for us, and we're going to work alongside them, and we can only work because of them. So it's actually like a really cool relationship between artist and model. Um, and when they're posing, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Like I couldn't have envisioned, this sort of body or this body working this way. I think that when that happens, I am most enthused by by working with a model. I think that, and that happens with every single body type. Like it doesn't matter how much musculature you have or how of an athletic body you have. It doesn't matter. To me, it really, really doesn't. To me, it's more like it's just recognizing how a body behaves, and it feels so, so personal that it just feels like my job. I burped. Maybe some people picked that up. I'm sorry.
No one. Why did
No,
you
so
say
well, I said
that?
it. Maybe some people picked that up, but I'm sorry. Um, it's tea. It's the tea fault.
Mm-hmm. Is it gas? Does it
Drinking
have
gas.
gas?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, no,
Is
but
it
I come clean.
carbonated
I come clean.
tea?
I come clean.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know what I was saying pre-burp. But no, I just I've always loved to be surprised in that sense, to feel like my job in that session is just to like you know almost like with wandered eyes look at this body and say, wow, I'm just gonna try to decipher how this body works. And it's super cool. It's really, really cool. And that makes it so it feels so special that that makes every session special then, because it's almost as if you can't really use the information you had with one body type and apply it to another. And I do think that when you are studying a lot of anatomy, for example, it's almost as if you paste anatomy on top of somebody, um, of like a model that has identity, and you force anatomy onto that body that has like a beautiful identity, and a lot of that identity is lost just because you are trying to showcase anatomy. And I don't like that. I've never liked that. I've never been excited about anatomy in that sense. I think anatomy, what I tend to believe is that anatomy instructs me so that I don't get lost. So my brain says, okay, this should, I kind of know what this bone or this tendon is doing or this, big muscle is doing in this area. So I try to find clues as to where and how it manifests. And sometimes it can manifest really harshly and with very chiseled athletic bodies. And sometimes it's just very beautifully like subtle, how it shows up in somebody else's body. And I think both of those are just great. I think both of those are just amazing, like incredible opportunities to learn about the body. So, anyways,
Mm, Anormal was saying mortuary assistant. That's the name of the one who makes the uh, autopsy.
okay, there we go. Yeah, but yeah, I sometimes feel like when there's people that are like super enamored by anatomy, they just find anatomy they just push anatomy all the time in every single, body that they draw or paint, or they start to like choose models that are obviously just these vessels of anatomy. But there's a little again, there's a little bit of something that's being lost, and the bodies that are painted or sculpted or drawn just become more archetypal than just like than actual human beings. So I tend to love just thinking that our job, if we are working from the model, is to always be sensitive to the human being first.
Catherine Poremski was saying, "Hello, I missed the beginning. I'm taking an online class with Amy Dury, and Nicolas Uribe was mentioned today."
No way.
Ooh.
That's super
And
nice.
amazing artist,
Oh,
by the
Amy is
way.
incredible.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Freaking amazing. She's amazing. No,
Adrian.
we're big fans of her.
No, I just love when you
Freaking
do
amazing.
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 And you just keep like a little smile in your.
Freaking amazing.
Adrian Balser was saying, "Do you think you'll do Rome Workshop 2024? I've been saving up for it just in case." And a smiling face.
Well, we were talking with Danny yesterday about this, and I do feel that I need to do less workshops, less overseas workshops, because I have 4 workshops coming up. Like in 4 months, I have to travel to 4 different countries to do 4 different workshops
I
in the
mean,
next
I
4
even
months.
calculated from now till the end of 2023, every month you're going to travel.
Yeah, which is not cool.
Every
is it?
single month
I mean,
you're going
it's
to
cool that
travel.
we are traveling in December, so like
And
just the
yeah,
2 of us. So that's nice. That feels really nice.
it is.
But
It was
but
the
it
best
it took us
gift.
like we were only able to plan that knowing that the rest of the year, the rest of the second like the second semester was going to be just a lot of work. So yeah, so I was thinking I have such a great relationship. I feel it's a great relationship with David Simon, who's the organizer for the Rome workshops. I think he does a tremendous job at all the logistics.
Yeah.
He loves doing them over there. He's the super hard worker,
And it shows. Like,
very respectful, super
yeah.
kind to the people that show up. I only have great things to to say about David. I
Yeah.
think he's tremendous. So I do feel like with him I'm always going to feel comfortable, and I think him and I just we kind of understand each other in a strange way, but we just we're kind of like just responsible people, kind of laid back, serious, but kind of dumb jokes. He's dad like myself. I don't know. We're roughly from the same generation, so I don't know. I think he's a good friend. I consider him a good friend, and so I think if I had to pick one that I would keep doing, like it would be just that. It would be just Rome. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do quite some more for this year. And I think I mean I'm gonna give it my all, of course, but I I I have to be careful to remind myself that it's like, okay, when I travel to this other country, to this other place, like I need to bring it. I need to bring like tons of energy and just like tons of hard work, which I always do. But yeah, probably next year I'm just gonna cut back a little bit on these.
Javi Have
Happy
was
to have
saying,
you.
"Doing well, Nico and Danny. Thanks for asking. Been here watching, but you have been muted. Unable to post because of busy work meetings. Things are slowing down for now, so I'm also happy to be here."
Oh, that's
Very nice to have you
super
here.
important, like
To have you
presentation.
here.
And he's like looking off to the side.
Yeah.
He's like, uh huh,
Yeah.
uh huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have those numbers for tomorrow. Yes, yeah, huh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that there's people like Javi that have to mute and just watch what we're doing.
Yeah,
And there's other people that have to see their work and they just listen to what we're talking about.
yeah, I like
So
that
it's,
too.
yeah, you have the whole deal with our live streams.
Yeah, yeah, nice,
You can pick.
healthy, broad spectrum.
I think Cacaito
Cara.
listens to us. And sometimes she just tries and sees the video.
Yeah, I know my mom listens.
Your mom was here. I was gonna read her
Yeah,
comment.
she puts it on, but then she'll listen to the whole of it afterwards.
Yeah.
Because she's usually having to do something
Yeah.
with my nephew or niece, and she's always like, well, when I come back, I'll just put it on. But she always does,
Yeah. My mom
Oh, she's here
listens.
in the first. She
Yeah.
she
She
has
says
her
hi,
notifications.
but then she's like, Danny, I don't understand English. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
she's like, hi
So,
and bye, Peros.
but I have to say,
Oh, she's
she
always
shares every single thing you share.
she's very generous.
Yeah.
I could be showing somebody else's work, she'll share it.
Yeah.
She'll be like,
You can be sharing.
she'll write like amazing.
Yeah, you can share whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she'll be sharing it
Like
on
top 10
Instagram, Facebook.
swamps.
Yeah, and she's
She'll
like,
be like,
yeah.
incredible, Coquito.
Yeah. So your mom
Yeah.
was saying, hi, Nicolás. Hi, Danny. Good afternoon. Hola, Olguita.
Yeah, very formal.
Un
for my
abrazo,
mother.
Olguita. Yeah. She's trying to pasar desapercibida.
Ah, pass
say.
desapercibied.
Yeah. Mauricio Paraguazú
Mhm.
manda una carita con corazones y dice, la simpatía de Our Painted Lives no debe medirse en números, pero no puedo evitar notar que llegaron a los 40K suscriptores.
Ay, tan
Felicidades.
lindo.
Ay,
Nosotros
muchas
nos fijamos en
gracias,
eso, pero
Mauricio.
no nos fijamos en eso.
Muchas gracias.
Pero sí
La
nos
que
fijamos.
se debe fijar es Fer.
Fer, mi hija, acuérdense, mi
Fer
hija.
ya estamos un poquito más cerca de los 100,000.
Sí, mi hija quiere la placa.
Sí.
Háganlo por mi hija, por favor.
Johnny Matatiao was. Oh no, I
Johnny.
already read that. It was
Yeah.
that they're in Oakland.
Oakland, yeah.
Dana was saying
Never
simple,
been to Oakland, by the way.
simple palette and simple palette. Palette. El
Palette, yeah, there we go.
¿Cómo se
Great.
pronuncia?
Palette, yeah, it's the same. They would be
I did-
homonyms.
But I did it. I did
And
a
you
good
did it perfectly.
job. Yeah. But you just looked at me. See if
No,
you
no, I
had
just
no
didn't
idea.
understand. I wasn't ready. My mind was elsewhere, so I wasn't ready to understand that.
Cody Winnicky
Cody.
was saying, "Hey everyone, noted for the Colorado workshop. Make sure there is a good bed."
No. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. And I have
By
to
the
say
way,
this.
Cody, I already shared the information with Nicolas, the one you passed to me. The thing is that Nicolas, and I know him, and I know that that's the way he needs to do things. When he's gonna have a workshop,
Yes.
he's like all focused on that schedule, because then he would get like dates mixed or something. Like you just want to tackle one thing at a time.
One thing at a
I
time.
would say.
Yeah, one thing at a
So-
time.
What were you gonna say?
No. That, but just to answer for Cody, just yes. I mean, I was just saying that I'm gonna try to cut back, but I do feel that we need to go to Colorado, our Kala workshop, and so if I'm gonna do one in the U.S. next year, it'll probably be that.
Yeah.
And I'd be, if you could come with me, Danny Lira, that
Ooh,
would be
so we
great.
can pick some of Cody's work.
Yeah.
No, it's a
But
joke.
Cody,
It's a joke.
no, don't worry about like logistics. We'll figure it out, and don't worry about those things. All those things we can work around, and we, in this particular case, I'll say this just because it's Cody, and just because I think that it'd be super cool if we could go. We will adapt to the circumstances. Let's call it that. I think Cody understands that. But we will find a way. So don't worry about that. But it's a given. It's a given. So we can say that we'll be. I mean, not that we haven't determined the dates, but we'll figure that out with Cody in the near future.
Yes.
But we'll be in 2024. We'll be in Colorado. Colorado.
Me quemé durísimo.
¿Sí?
Creo que se me vio la cara en la cámara.
¿Sí?
David Rodríguez dice, hola, ¿cómo están? Hola, David, muy bien. Y David dice, además de ver a Nico dibujar, me gusta como también puedo practicar mi listening de inglés.
Muy bien.
Eso. 2 pájaros de un solo tiro.
2 birds.
2 birds.
2 birds.
Sangales dice, deberían venir a Barcelona. Hay unos cuantos aquí que tenemos muchas ganas de conocerles. Muchas gracias, Sangales.
Tan amable.
En Barcelona vive mi tía.
Debo decir que me han ofrecido del MEAM, pero todavía el MEAM, todavía el MEAM y yo creo que el MEAM y yo vamos en un futuro a ser muy compatibles y
Creo que van en un buen camino.
voy a ser muy agradecido cuando se den esas, cuando se abran esas puertas, pero por ahora hay cosas que no comparto con el MEAM, que todavía son como unas pequeñas anclas que tienen con unas filosofías como un poco retrógradas anteriores, que yo creo que con el tiempo se van a ir disolviendo, porque sí siento que son muy, o tienen la disposición a ser mucho más abiertos. Pues no, creo que Jordi ya no está, pero Díaz Alama lo respeto muchísimo. Es un pintorzazo, un monstruo. Y es muy, muy amable, muy buena gente. Entonces, em, yo creo que está en un futuro, pero por ahora no. Por ahora no, pero le deseo siempre lo mejor. Y a los artistas que están allá, siempre les deseo lo mejor. Por ejemplo, cuando estaba en Menorca, Jeremy Mann estaba llevando una pintura, tuvo que irse una mañana. Chistoso fue, viajó a Barcelona una mañana y después
¿De
se
verdad?
devolvió. Sí, pues no es nada, es muy
No,
corto.
pues sí, pero bueno, pues es que ya
Sí,
estando allá,
a llevar
pero
la pintura al MEAM y después se devolvió a seguir con el taller. Eh, y a Jeremy lo quiero resto, lo quiero muchísimo desde que lo conocí, entonces, pues yo obviamente era feliz por él. A mí no, en esos momentos no me importa cómo yo me sienta o lo que yo sienta o cómo me sienta eh, en, en cuanto a la filosofía de una institución, más bien me pongo es feliz por las
pues
personas
sí, es que
que...
eso no es sino tuyo, o sea,
Sí,
no
por
tiene que
eso.
ser.
Y me pongo es feliz por personas que conozco y si a ellos, si para ellos es algo chévere, pues yo estoy feliz es por ellos.
Jeff Akoff dice, hola a todos desde Holanda.
Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff. How
Hello,
is
Jeff.
Jeff? Roya Ibrahim was
Roya.
sending some heart emojis. Roya, we saw your
Yeah,
video.
very cool.
I like the music.
Oh yeah, you were like
Yeah,
rocking it out. Yeah.
yeah. I wrote back
Very
to
metal.
Roya that I really like when
The drums
the
going.
drums, yeah, and the heads start like
Rotating.
yeah, like
Ta-na,
shifting.
ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
You just woke up chilly,
Sorry,
but yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I like that too.
Chili was excited with the music too. She started
Yeah.
barking.
She
She was a little scared, but I think she enjoyed it. MM Borg 00. So Monique, long time no
long
see,
time,
Monique.
Monique. What the hell?
We're so happy to have you here. Monique was saying, "Hi, Nicolas and Danny. When you say Steve,
Steve
who are
Issel.
you referring to? I missed the first 15 minutes."
Oh, sorry, SteveIssel. StevenIssel.
Oh yeah, and Gabriel Pozzo
But
was saying Steven Asale.
thank you. Gracias, Gabriel.
And Monique was saying, "Thank you, Gabriel. Thought so."
Thought
Nope,
so,
nope.
but so. Thought so, but so.
um, a ver. Sangales dice, y me voy a cambiar el nombre ahora mismo, jaja, descanse en paz, sandalias. Pues igual siempre será sandalias. ¿Referencia fotográfica o imaginación? Dice Sangales.
No, Sangalias, quisiera tener...
¿Sangalias?
Sangalias. Sangalias, quisiera... Yo puedo hasta un punto hacer como dibujos de la imaginación y dibujos anatómicos puedo. Yo en algún momento hice un curso de dibujo anatómico que creo que me fue bien, o sea, no quisiera tampoco decir que no, o sea, que lo hice como sin tener idea de lo que estaba haciendo, no, yo creo que nos fue súper bien en ese curso, pero yo también conozco mis limitaciones. Entonces, no, digamos que es dibujo de referente, instruido por lo que más me gusta seguramente, que es muchos años de dibujar del natural y de dar en la universidad que enseñé, en la Facultad de Artes, enseñé dibujo de figura humana todo ese tiempo, entonces siempre fue dibujo del natural.
Michael McEwen was
Yeah.
saying, "Hi, Nicolas and Danny."
Michael.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hola, Michael.
Hola, Michael McEwan.
That was my será mi auto fantástico. Hola,
Mm,
Michael.
Yo no sé qué era, pero yo lo repetí.
Bueno, estuvo bien.
Liat was saying hello. Hey, Liat. How are
Liad.
you?
By the way, for everyone,
By the way.
Liad
Yeah.
has a channel, and Liad is doing
Yes, live
live
streams.
streams.
Yes, if you
So
want to check it out.
Liad has been super, super helpful,
Yeah.
super generous
Yes.
with us and
Yes.
the people that make up our very small, very wonderful community. He's been really, really generous with his time, and we are nothing but grateful for that. So we would obviously love to promote,
And
recommend, invite everyone
to join Liat in the
yeah,
streams.
John Liat for his streams
Yes.
and speak about painting and cats and dogs and dog food showing up, cat food showing up.
And more painting.
Yeah, all of it, all of it. So best of luck with those streams.
Yes.
Liat Alfonso.
Cody Winnicky was saying, no worries at all. I get it. País Llanero.
Ay, llanero.
Mi amor, la levanta siempre.
If I don't
Se
do it,
levanta
es que
así.
si no lo hago,
Se
la
levanta
gente
con
no,
ojitos
no me lo
de...
perdona.
País Llanero dice, hola muchachos, esa es Dani, New Voice. País Llanero es, sí, soy yo. Estoy saliendo de una gripa. Entonces, ya estoy mucho mejor de la voz.
Sí,
Pero ahí
ayer
vamos,
todavía
ahí vamos.
estabas cascadita.
Ayer estaba un poquito más cascadilla. Antes de ayer, ni se diga.
Heavy onda.
Sí, el fin de semana estuve fatal,
horrorosa.
pero ahí vamos. Volviendo a ser la misma de siempre.
Por ahí oyó un
A ver, venga pues.
perrillo.
Venga pues, chihuahuita.
Okay, I think I have my contour sort of down in a way that I think is I mean I'm gonna say a couple of things here. I shouldn't be drawing this drawing the way I'm drawing it. Like it is absurd because I'm way too close to this drawing. Like way, way too close. And I don't have the ability, even if I was in a chair like I am right now, to just like push the chair back and roll back and look at my drawing. Like I would have never started the drawing like I did right here. I would have started this drawing with my arm extended. But I can't extend my arm. So I can't even come close to extending my arm. So I just want to say that that's something that is, I think it's very dumb to do, to force yourself to do a drawing in an improper way. It's kind of dumb. But we do this, like we've been painting and drawing like this forever, doing our videos. But if I had to recommend this to somebody, I would say no, don't do this. Like there's an an awful chance that you are going to miss the wholeness of your drawing, and you're not going to be able to see it integrally. So there's bound to be like misproportions and just shapes that are not right, and because you're just unable to judge it properly from a distance.
You know what was a dumb thing that I did?
No, come on.
No,
What? No,
yeah,
I
it
wouldn't say
doesn't
that.
matter. But it was dumb.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know what you're going to say, but
So
I wouldn't
I had
say...
no idea you were going to do a drawing. So I fixed the palette to fit there.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
So I could have shifted the camera so you could have a little bit more room.
Oh, but a little bit more room is like 2 centimeters.
but
it just doesn't...
I mean,
It doesn't
better
matter.
than not having the 2 centimeters.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
So
It doesn't matter. No. It trust me, like thank you for thinking that would have made it a little bit better, but no. You know that it doesn't. No, so I would be very, very careful to do something like this where you're just really up against the drawing, because you don't have a proper way of gauging what you're doing. So, yeah, I would say that that's the one thing that I would try to change from this. Uh, so it's I mean, it happens to me even if I work by myself because it's just such a big risk of just you getting so entranced by your drawing that you forget to like check it constantly. So it happened, for example, I don't know if you guys remember, but the study of the arm that I did, um, I ended up initially doing like a big hand. Like
Yeah.
I said that I overshot it and I did. What was the hand like? I forget. What was that
Así
like?
estaba como sosteniendo.
Like this, but was it this? Yeah,
Sí.
something like that. Um, and but I overshot it, and it was way too big. And I had to next day. It wasn't even like that day. No, was it that day? No, it was that day. But I think I gave myself time, and I stepped back, and I was like, "What am I doing?" And then I grabbed like a darker color pencil, and I fixed it. Um, but it happens. It just happens when And drawing is so freaking ungrateful. Like that, if you don't pay an enormous amount of attention to what you're doing, it bites you. It really doesn't allow you to not concentrate. So I would say one thing that you should do is just constantly. That's why you see when people are drawing at their easels, arms extended, couple of strokes, you step back and you go like, "Okay, I made this decision.
Mm.
Let me see how the decision that I just made impacts my drawing."
Yeah.
And if it's not what I wanted, let's not call it right or wrong, but if it's not what I wanted, how do I adjust and change it? You're constantly doing that. But you always, you always need space. So and if you're doing this, you need a lot of space. But if I was doing this, I would have done like a torso that big. That's why it's easier to just get your proportions right when you're doing like a smaller drawing on a sketchbook, let's say. That's always easier to gauge. But yeah, I don't know why I'm saying that, but I just wanted to point that out because it is true.
Is there something we could do
To make it better?
to make you a little bit more room?
No, no, it's okay.
Okay.
Oh no. No, we made this decision, you know, 3.5 years ago, Danny.
No, I
That
know,
we were
but
like, this is gonna be uncomfortable, and it's okay. It's okay, but it's always like, I am aware of distortions that have happened because of that or misproportions. I mean, some of them are obviously my fault, but there's been a lot where where I would look at something and I'm like, well, from the spot that I'm sitting at, it looks great, and I would stand up and look at the drawing and it would be super elongated and I would be like, "Oh my god, what did I do?" And I would have to change the drawing. Like there were many paintings. Well, not a ton, but there were enough paintings that we did that we stopped recording. I would Danny would come in like every half hour to just cuz our camera can only record half hour,
like
you know.
20 something. I
Yeah,
think
like
it's
27 minutes or something
yeah,
like
it's
that.
not.
Uh, but she would come in and we would do those kind of like little breaks. Uh, but then when I was done, I would just call Danny and it was all done and we would take all of this, contraption apart and I could step back and I would look at the painting and I'd be like, "Oh my god, this is terrible." And sometimes I would just tell Danny like, I'm sorry, I just can't leave it like this. It's just
Yeah.
and then he'd be like, "Oh, do you want to set up again?" Or and I'd be like, "No, no, I just can't. It doesn't matter. Like we won't have the final image available to people, but it doesn't matter. But I have to change it." So yeah, but it comes. I'd like to say that I learned how to get used to it. Not really. Just kind of work with it. I guess it's okay. It's all okay.
Liad was saying
It's
you
like the bad bed. It's okay.
Liad was saying you could use a lens to look through that makes the drawing smaller so it looks like
Ooh.
you're further away.
Oh, that could be. That's right.
I thought you were going to say something else. I was
I don't know. I was just like,
like
I don't know,
Um
wincing.
and Liad was saying before, good, I'm getting ready to go to Israel for a month. Israel
Oh,
for a
that's
month.
awesome.
Ooh.
That is
Cody was
awesome.
saying, wow, that would be
Mazel tov.
cool.
Yeah.
One of my students went there recently and she loved it. And Liad was saying, that's cool. And Liad was also saying, I will start streaming again when I get back from Israel. Thank you so much for the shout out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Have you looked into the Hirschberg, Israel Hirschberg school?
And Liad, I'm sorry, just
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
last
Yeah,
comment.
yeah, yeah. Please, please,
Liad
please.
was saying, I'm very excited to go to Israel. I haven't seen my mom in 4 years. Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's very
amazing.
nice. Wish you the best.
Yeah. I hope you spend a lot of loving times
Yeah,
together.
eating matzah bread. So good. Not really.
Veliko Duric was saying, hello guys. Hey Veliko, how are you? Sandalias se cambió el nombre y ahora dice Raimo Galí.
Que
Y
estaba
dice, ¿se ha cambiado ya el nombre? Sí, se cambió. Entonces dice Raimo Galí, pero yo diré sandalias.
yo ponque ramo. Ponque raimo.
Pero ellos no saben qué es
No, yo
Ponquerramo.
sé. ¿Qué es? Bueno, y sandalias, ¿qué es Raimo Galí?
El
¿El
nombre,
nombre?
ya nos había dicho.
El nombre, un bellísimo nombre. Además,
Raimo Galí, pero para nosotros siempre será sandalias. Mm, Borg 00. So,
Monique.
Monique,
Yeah.
saying, I've been painting a lot. Missed you. Oh,
Oh,
we've missed
same.
you too. So happy that you've been painting. How's the painting going, Monique? Have you been enjoying it? Has it been a little tough? Um,
What are you
Tell us
painting
more
also?
about it. Yeah, I want to know. I need to know.
Okay. It's a little different.
Liad was saying the Herbert Hirschberg School.
Yeah?
I haven't. I look into it.
Oh, Israel Hirschberg. Yeah. I think it's I mean in Western Hemisphere, let's say, but in it obviously in America, they are quite popular. They're very very popular, and I find it incredibly appealing because it's more of a tonalist school. So it's quite beautiful. It produces quite beautiful paintings. So
Ali Mousavi was saying hi. Hi, Ali. How are you?
okay, so I am okay. When I draw like this, I tend to. I mean, this is a different type of drawing that I would do if I was really committing to something. I wouldn't take as long as I'm taking right now to just, put something down. I would just put it down. If it was off or weird, I would try to find like more expressive ways to deal with the drawing. Um, but since I have time, since I know that I have time, so I kind of want to organically find my way through the drawing. So it just feels like fleshier, and it just comes like slowly, slowly, kind of comes alive. So what I've been basically doing is concentrating, yes, on my contours, because I do want to not just go from inside out and then kind of find this idea of contour. I actually love contour, so I love line work. So contours for me are super super important, and I think a good contour always educates, what is going on the inside of the body, because obviously contours are an abstraction, but the inside, what's happening on the inside of the body, dictates how we perceive the contour, this idea of a contour. So, um, so I tend to feel like I need to have an understanding of what is going to be my the sort of perimeter of my drawing, what's going to sort of hold this nice reflection that I'm going to do on form, turning in space, that is going to be this inside of this body. And I think I have that right now. And then I'm gonna slowly again, because I'm feeling no rush. By the way, I'm not rushed by you guys, so I'm not gonna rush a drawing just because I'm live, doing a video. But I right now, what I'll do is try to find the mass, the shadow mass, which is going to begin to tell us how this body is moving in space. Right now, what we have are just kind of pointers as to the structure of the body, what is happening mechanically with the body, and how it's manifesting through these sort of the outer rim of the body. But we don't know, we don't really know, even though I've made some hints, but we don't really know how it's turning in space. So that's what we're going to do right now, and we're going to do that, hopefully achieve that, by massing in our shadows. So I've slightly kind of made these in an almost like I always think of it as like a geographic fashion. It's almost like the delimitations that you're going to see, from country to country, or from state to state, city to city. So it's like these borders that are very much really important, because they are describing that that in this particular lighting condition, that moment when that form is turning away from light, where that form kind of peaks and then changes direction and it turns away from light. So it's really important to have like a kind of like abstract mapping of how this is turning. Obviously, it's not going to be stark where you just go light and then suddenly dark, because our bodies don't turn that way. We're not cubes that we suddenly have like a facet facing the light and then a facet facing away from light. So the one that's facing the light would be lighter in value, and as it turns away, it would turn darker immediately. No, our body is more of a cylinder, and an irregular cylinder, in the sense that it has like peaks and valleys. So there's going to be a soft transitioning from light to dark. But it's very important, if you like more traditional, the more traditional description of form, that usually comes with like one directional light, or light that comes from like zenithal light that comes from above. Um, I think that's obvious. If I say zenithal light,
Yeah,
it
that
means that it
comes.
comes from
Yeah,
above.
it's
So
like the door in the church that I told
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you.
So yeah, so light that comes from above, that mimics, light that we, usually understand as our biggest light source, which is the sun, and that's how we usually understand like form. The familiarity of form comes from us understanding our light source is coming from above. But yeah, or usually left to right if we have like windows. So if you're into that, you usually have to describe either form turning this way or this way, or both, actually. That sort of happens most of the time too. So it's very important for me to find that mass, and we're going to just very lightly, but it very, sensibly also, we're going to start to determine, what is going to be that shadow mass for this body as it turns.
Ali Mousavi was saying, I'm fine. How are you guys?
Very good,
We're
thank you.
good. And Ali was saying, can I ask what's the story behind the tattoo on your hand?
Oh, I've told this, many times before, but I guess for the people that are new, no, they're my children's drawings. So this whole arm has Samu's
Samus?
drawings. It has my son's drawing, but it also has a cow done by my daughter. These are not. I didn't ask them to do drawings so that I could
Tattoo.
tattoo them. No, these are
Mhm.
just drawings that I would collect for years, and then I just picked the ones that I liked the most, and then I organized them, and then uh, well, who did this was actually her ex-boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and who did this arm.
Her, as in the tattoo
Yeah,
artist?
the tattoo artist that did this arm was her boyfriend. She
What?
was her
The tattoo
boyfriend,
artist.
her ex-boyfriend.
So you have an arm tattooed by a friend of yours that is a tattoo artist,
So this is this one.
and her ex boyfriend did the other arm.
So this is by a former student of mine, but she's an amazing tattoo artist right now in New York. She's awesome. She does incredibly well. Um, she did this arm. I can't show you this arm,
And the
but
hands.
and she did my hands and she
And
did
your
my
neck.
neck
Yeah.
about a year ago. And and yeah, they're all drawings of my kids. So that's the only thing I have tattooed on me. And what I did was I exchanged. I picked out of all the drawings that they had. I picked cows because my father was a vet, and he most of his work and his life revolved around cattle. And so, to remember my father, I was like, okay, I'm going to have two cows done by my son and my daughter in my hands. But I exchanged them. So Samu is in Fer's arm and Fer is in Samu's arm, just so they know that they're not apart, but they're always going to be together. And yeah, so and the one that I recently did was the two sides of my neck. So one side is like a dragon that Samu did, and the other side is like
Heart
princess in
princess.
the shape of a heart that Fer did. So they're kind of like princess and dragon, which I thought was pretty cool. And honestly, I have no more. Like, I don't know if I want to do anymore. Like when I met Danny, I was like, I would speak about my hands, and I would be like, do I really want to tattoo my hands? And then I did it, and Danny went with me, and I did it, and it was painful, but it was very cool. And then after the hands, some years later, I was like, I want to do my neck. I really do. I really, really do.
You were doubting that
Yeah,
more
cause
than
that.
your
Yeah,
hands, even.
yeah. And post hands, I thought, oh, this is gonna hurt. It's probably gonna hurt. And 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 no, and when I knew that Lorena Skunk Rocker, that's her Instagram
Instagram handle, yeah.
handle, yeah. If you want to check her out, or if you're in New York, and if you want a really good tattoo artist
Yes.
to do her work on you, that's pretty weird.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to talk to her, you can totally say that I recommended her to you, please. Um, yeah, she was going to be here for some visa stuff. So she was going to be here for a couple of days.
She was
And
not gonna
she
tattoo.
wasn't going to tattoo anyone.
Yeah.
She was like, no, 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 I'm just here to rest and do. But we talked, and she was like, okay. And so we went to like a friend of hers
Studio.
studio, and yeah, and I feel she spend too much time talking to us because she's super talkative, like
Oh,
super
and
social.
I have to say, I was terrible for that because I was talking
You were
way.
way too much with
Yeah,
her.
I mean, we were
Yeah.
doing a visita. How do you say that?
Yeah, just chatting.
Yeah,
And I feel that she spent a long time on the dragon one.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, the dragon.
yeah, I think so. And then when she moved to the other
And then she
side,
was
she
like,
was
"What
like,
time is it?"
yeah, it's like, well, how long have we been here? Like this is, and I felt like she just drew it in one stroke. She was like,
I mean, she told you like, I think you've been handling pain very good.
yeah,
We've been talking too much,
yeah.
so I'm just gonna talk a little less. And she was done in like 5 minutes.
Oh, it was fucking brutal. Like all the strokes that she was doing were like super. In the dragon, she would be like, zzz, 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 zzz,
Yeah.
zzz. For the other side, she was like, zzz.
Done.
Yeah, one,
Yeah.
yeah, just one long ass stroke.
Yeah. Michael McEwen. Oh, so Ali Mosavi was saying they're really cool.
Oh, I love
And
them, of course.
some happy faces with hearts instead of eyes. I
I
don't know how
love
to
him, of
describe
course.
that. Michael McEwen was saying, my son is a tattoo artist in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Oh, very nice.
Very cool. And has your son give you a tattoo, Michael? Do you have tattoos? Do you like tattoos? It would be cool.
How
to have a-
sober is he when he tattoos? It's an important question in Scotland.
Mm, let's see.
I could tell you that my friend always has a hangover when she's tattooing me. So, yeah.
Borg00. So Monique was saying, hey, Michael, nice to see you here. And Michael was saying, hi, Monique. Been following our painted lives for a few years now. Love them. They blether a lot. LOL.
Love
And
the
some-
blethering. Love the
and
blathering.
some laughing emojis. Mm,
By the way, Michael, have you seen Black Mirror, the new season? There's a Scottish character in one of the episodes that is fucking amazing. I loved him. I absolutely loved him. The
yeah.
guy at the bar.
But don't.
Oh no, that's all I'm gonna say. But he was so good. He was so good. That actor is great.
I have to say, there was one episode that was
Mess you
very.
up?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were different this time.
Yeah.
A little bit
I like
different.
those. I mean, I like
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Just the tone of it was a little bit darker. I mean, they're always dark, but it's something.
But this one
Yeah,
was like darker, as in.
these were like woof. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, so.
No, we won't. We won't. We like. I like that series a lot. So.
Raimo Galí, alias Sandalias.
Mm.
Alias Sandalias. Dice, es la escuela donde estudió David Baird. ¿No?
¿Cuál? Disculpe.
David Baird. Baird. Baird.
Ah,
Baird.
la escuela de Israel, de
Israel.
Herzberg.
Ajá.
Puede ser, sí. Y Juvalit. que
Pero se
son-
dice Baird, ¿no?
No, él es inglés.
Por eso.
Baird.
¿Baird? No, señor.
Baird.
No,
David Baird.
yo tenía
David
entendido que era
Baird.
Baird.
David,
A ver.
come to the door. No, y alguna vez hablamos con él.
Surname. Baird.
Baird.
Por eso, pero yo estoy
David
segura que
Baird.
yo busqué.
David Baird. Baird. It's David Baird.
Baird. Por eso,
Baird.
como si fuera
Like a
Baird.
bird.
Baird. No, Baird. Mira,
Like a bird.
B-E-H-R-D. Baird.
Like a bird.
Baird. David Baird. So I didn't do a bad job at the
No.
beginning. Then I messed it up because I was nervous, but I have to trust myself with my pronunciation.
Yeah, not always, but yeah, sure.
I have to.
Yeah.
Let's see. MM Borg 00. So
Mhm.
Monique was saying, yes, very much enjoying painting portraits and figures. Studying with Renzo from Peru. Found him on YouTube.
Oh.
Oh, very cool. Are you studying as in like online courses with him or like an asesoría? What do you call that? Like individual classes? I don't know. Let's see.
I don't know this artist, or maybe I do. What was their name? I'm sorry.
Renzo from Peru.
Renzo.
S-O.
S-O. Renzo. Renzo Castañeda?
Maybe?
Maybe. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's nice. Portrait artist, kind of like classical. Yeah, it's nice. Cool. Good, cool painting of a ram. It's very cool. Nice.
Ali Mousavi was saying, I heard it's not as good as as the seasons before.
Different, I would say.
It's
I mean,
different,
different.
but I enjoyed it. I mean,
Yeah.
very different. But I think it was good.
I think it's tougher for Black Mirror because they do kind of, I mean, not painted themselves into a corner, but I'm guessing that what they wanted was to find a way that they could speak about, like, tonally what is sort of the essence of Black Mirror, which is, usually
Like the
dystopia,
of
like
future-
technological
yeah.
dystopia, I would say.
Mhm.
And they kind of have notes of that. I mean, in some of the episodes more than the others, but they kind of have that. But they're also, I would say that this one was a little more supernatural gore, maybe gory supernaturally in some ways.
I would say true crime supernatural.
Yeah. So it did change. I hope that it changed just because they wanted to see if they could, open up the universe so that it could have like a different tone. and not just because they saw what they saw that, like what Danny was saying, like true crime is just insanely popular in the world, and they
Is
would
it
just
now very popular?
it's absurdly popular. That's why Netflix has like 400 shows of true crime. So, um, yeah. So hopefully it's not just that they just saw like, okay, this is what people like, so let's do this.
So I get that in that dystopia theme that they had, it's
Yeah,
very different of all that. But I would say that as storytelling or as like episodes themselves, like the storytelling in the episodes,
yeah,
it was cool.
yeah. It was
It was
good.
good.
It's different. It's
Very
different.
different, but it was good. It's
Yeah,
good storytelling. So
I would say maybe one of them sort of, you know, could rival, not really rival, because I'm thinking of my favorite episodes, and I don't know if any episode on this season would go into my favorite episodes, because I do have like I do love certain episodes of Black Mirror. I think they are tremendous, but um I don't think it's bad. I think it's different. I think it's different TV. So it's just it's nice to have a moment for those stories. It felt more like at some points it felt more like X-Filesy, or like it felt a bit like Tales from the Crypt, X-Files, um La Dimensión Desconocida. ¿Cómo es que se dice en inglés?
no sé.
Oh, come on. I forget now. Ah, fuck me. What's it called? Like do 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 the door and the eye in space.
Sí, la de la
Twilight Zone.
montaña.
Twilight
La de
Zone.
la montaña
Yeah,
rusa.
Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone. So this felt more like Twilight Zone. You know, Tales from the Crypt, kind of like absurd at some point, and it's sort of campy even, maybe. And X-Files Z, maybe. So a little bit different. I do like my I would have loved a bigger dose of technology, you know, dystopia, because I really like I think that's where Black Mirror shines. So I would have liked that, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
mm, let's see. Where are we? Oh, hello, Carlita. No,
What?
Carlacita.
Carla Cita.
Carlacita. So Carla and Clara was saying, hi,
Ooh.
Danny, Nicolas, sweet Chilean chat. Hey, Carla, how are you?
Very glad to see you.
I'm glad to have you here.
And glad to have you.
Eso fue lo que dije, mi amor.
Making it better.
They were always copying my jokes, but
Only the
okay.
good ones. Only the ones that have potential.
You just copy all of those. So
Yeah,
they're all
only
good.
only make them better.
99% of it.
Only make the ones that have potential
No,
a
you just
little bit
say
better.
it in your
Little
voice,
bit better.
making it worse.
Delivery makes it a lot better.
Michael McEwen was saying, ha ha ha. And afterwards, Michael was saying, I have no tattoos. I'm a chicken. LOL. Should get a little chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken tattoo by your son. That would be very cool.
I think that would be a perfect one.
Me too. A little one. So it doesn't hurt that much.
Quit your whining. Quit your whining, Dad.
Let's see. Mm.
There's I don't follow them, but they always show up in my Instagram feed. They're and I'm pretty sure this is just totally made up, because it nobody can be this funny just, you know, doing this live. But it's like
What?
Scottish commentary on like these old matches. Oh, it's so hilarious. It is
I
so
haven't
fucking
seen it.
hilarious. It is so good. Or not even the old matches. No, because they had what did they have? No, it was like Scottish commentary on the last friendly. I remember a friendly that again I think McTominay scored or something, but it was so good. It's so goddamn funny. It is great. So I don't know if this is a person that's doing the match live and they just come up with like these insane things that they say right there, but it's perfect. I'll search for it and I'll show you. I can't stop laughing when I hear those.
Mm, let's see. Liad was saying, I have no tattoos because I'm indecisive. You know, talking about that, Liad, I had no idea this existed.
What's that?
But it's like temporary tattoos, but not the
No,
ones that you put with water.
no.
Or
They're
some
very
that
good now.
they can be in your body for about 3 years.
Oh no,
And
no.
yeah, the ones
These
I'm
I
talking
didn't know.
about.
Oh, I didn't know about these.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok
Okay, must be
about
true.
that,
Yeah.
and it was fading 3 years after. It's crazy.
I mean, 3 years, you might as well get a tattoo, I feel.
No,
3 years?
or two? No, 3 years.
I don't know. 3 years seems
I'm
like too
sure.
much.
No, I'm sure what I'm talking about. Let me check.
How do they, how do they, is it a needle also? Like, is it like a traditional tattoo? Like, how are you tattooing your body? 3 years is a ton.
Mm.
Is it like inks that,
Ephemeral tattoo
okay,
fades
that's so
away
ephemeral.
in 1 to 3 years.
What the hell? Yeah. What's it made? How does it
Well,
work?
this is, I don't know, like this is the web page.
Okay. Oh.
So this is like a brand thing, I guess.
Oh, okay. It's a terrible name, but
It says
yes.
real tattoos, no lifetime commitment.
Oh my God. I mean, I guess it works.
Um, it says what? Radiation therapy meets made to fade ink.
Yeah, nope. I don't know. Those two things didn't sound right to me. No.
Yeah, but weird. No, I haven't heard about that
No, I
before.
don't. I can't read something that's like, temporary tattoo, radiation meets. After that, I just like it can meet anything and I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. When has radiation ever been said on a good light?
Well,
No, I mean it saves lives too, but it's like there's nothing good about radiation. Like radiation therapy, chemotherapy, it's literally killing your body to the point where you're just barely surviving because you're just killing everything that's in your body, good and bad, and then giving your body a chance to like survive. That is chemotherapy and radiation therapy. It's really like one of the harshest things you could ever put your body through. So no, it's not good. It's never good. Why would you ever like use radiation as like the
oh my God.
elevator
Look,
pitch?
no,
So
so it says a quick summary.
okay,
A made to fade alternative to permanent tattoos for use in the medical space so we can live our lives to the
fullest, yeah,
fullest post treatment. It says ephemeral for radiotherapy offers proprietary made to fade ink designed to replace permanent tattoo ink used for marking cancer patients during
oh
treatment.
Jesus Christ,
So
no,
this no, but listen, so this is part of the campaign they have. So they're offering people that are going to go to
they're
radiation
undergo
therapy
radiation therapy
that
to get a tattoo.
no, they have to get a number thing. That's what they're saying. They have to get a mark. So they're offering a tattoo instead of the mark. So
Oh
you
yeah,
can
usually
get the
get like
design you
dots.
want.
Okay,
I think that's nice.
okay.
So it's just, I mean, it's not that radiation therapy has something to do with these tattoos, but this is a campaign they're having.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
makes sense now
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't clear at all.
because it says an estimated 7.5 million patients globally receive radiotherapy tattoos annually in the US alone, requiring 2+ tattoos during treatment. An alternative ink that's applied with similar methods as a traditional tattoo.
Yeah.
Easy to integrate into existing medical settings.
Yeah. Okay. Now I get it. Okay. Now I understand.
And it is very nice now that you can know that you can choose something.
Yes, sure, sure, yes.
So it was my bad because I was reading part of the like what they
I
have
mean,
in
it's
their
a
web
strange.
page,
It's a strange thing, though. It is strange.
and it says so the science behind ephemeral. Ephemeral made to fade ink is applied just like a traditional tattoo. So for your answer, yes, it's a
So
needle.
needles, yeah, needles and a motor.
They have a good look at this. They have a good animation
Oh,
of the
that's
web
terrible.
page. I like it.
What's the ink made of then?
An
Like
artist
something?
uses a needle to transfer ink under your top layer of skin.
Yeah.
Unlike traditional tattoo ink, ephemeral ink contains medical grade bioabsorbable ingredients that shrink over time.
There we go.
So, look, I love the animation in the webpage. I have to say, look
Oh,
how they
it's
shrink
terrible. This is terrible.
until they're small enough for your body to remove.
Okay.
As time passes, the particles shrink as your body breaks down the ink. 70% of ephemerals fade in under 2 years. Everyone's fade journey is slightly different
Yeah.
because everyone's body is different. But don't worry, your ephemeral will disappear.
Okay.
Cool. Look. Example.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Yeah. The hook to to sort of promote this for cancer patients. I mean, it's a little rough, but it's nice. But it's rough. I feel it's a little rough.
No, but
I totally understand.
I mean, they already have the tattoos.
Well,
They're
the
just
marks.
making a
Well,
no, 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 no,
not
no,
a
no,
tattoo.
no, 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 no. The ephemeral tattoos exist for people that want to have tattoos. So what I was seeing on TikTok is someone that paid to get that tattoo, like a temporary
Yeah, no,
tattoo.
no. I'm
But
referring to
now
this
they're just
brand.
doing a collab. No, no,
I
no.
well, let's not call it collab. That's kind of
That's what it
weird.
says there.
I know, but it's kind of weird. That's what I
Because
say.
I
Like
think it's a
campaign is
collab
kind of weird.
with like a hospital.
Oh, it's kind of strange. I guess. I don't know. It's just tough. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't. Okay, I don't know. Mm,
You know what I would do, just to bring it. Um, if I suffer from cancer or something, I love that for chemotherapy and especially for kids, but I would get this for me. They sell stuff that you can cover the little bag, and there's like a Batman one that I've seen. If I get cancer, I lost my dad to cancer, by the way. But if I get cancer, I would show up with my Batman thing, and I would put it on top of the chemo thing, like
mhm.
I would put it up there. I would be like, "Fuck that! Like that's cooler than a temp tattoo. I want Batman with me." So yeah. So I would do that for sure, like
Valeria
100% sure.
Valeria Duca was saying, "Can Nicolas do an entire live session with a Scottish accent, please?"
Oh fuck
Or
me.
was that Irish?
Well, it goes in and out. It fluctuates.
Mm.
Yeah, I have to.
It jumps around, but it
yeah.
doesn't land in
No, it
nothing.
never lands. It
Yeah.
hovers over Ireland
Yeah.
and Scotland. No. The good thing is I can I understand how to soften my R's for the Irish accent, and I understand how to roll my R's for the Scottish accent. So I could. If you give me some time, I think I could.
Your accents are like
An
the
accident.
Nottingham Forest that you were referring to.
Yeah. It's always
You
a
were
miss.
lost
So it's close.
by many miles.
Close, but not
Yeah.
really. It wasn't that far. It wasn't that far, by the way.
It was 70 hours walking or something?
Not
7 hours?
70
70
hours
hours.
walking. That's like anywhere,
7 hours.
any
walking.
place on earth. It's like 70 hours walking away from where you are.
Raimo Galí, alias Sandalias, dice: Sigo tan enamorado del paseo en la orilla de Sorolla, no me canso.
¿Y ya recuperó la piel? ¿O todavía estamos un
Ay,
poquito
sí.
insolados?
Y dice: les recomiendo True Detective. La primera temporada es
Yo.
pura literatura.
Bueno. No, yo la vi. Es buena. No sé si es lo mejor que me haya visto en la vida, pero es buena.
So Liet was saying, my channel doesn't have a lot of followers or videos at the moment, but I really want to stream regularly when I come back. That's
Excellent.
awesome.
Oh, ours doesn't have a lot of, you
No.
know,
And here we are.
yeah. You don't. We don't do this. Like, and I would say, I'm not saying we, as in Danny and myself, but the royal we. I think we as artists or we as a community, and even if it's like a broader community, or even if it's like the Your Painted Lives community, I think we do things because we love this. It doesn't. Who gives a fuck about like numbers? It doesn't matter. Like none of that matters. This is just, I think, one of the coolest things when you have to work, and if we've all been through that, like working when you are painting. There's an enormous chance that you are just by yourself with yourself, and you've had to teach yourself how to be okay, with yourself when you're working. You're going to be stuck with yourself for hours and hours and hours and hours, and probably months and probably years of your life, because that's just the nature of what we do. And I think that this is not trying to fix that, because I don't think that that's something that we should fix. I think that that's something beautiful. I do think that artists need to be by themselves and be okay with being by themselves when they're working. But I do think it's a way of saying, like, hey, we can be by ourselves. Like, you're gonna be stuck in your studio or stuck at work or doing whatever, but you're gonna have company. Like,
Hmm.
it's. I think we can have both, and that's honestly that's what Danny and myself we wish. That's all we want to be. Like, we don't have the las ínfulas. We don't have the pretension to be
Influence.
the infuels. We don't have the pretension to be like an academic channel, or like something that said, "Hey, teach me how to do hey, teach me the anatomy of an arm. Hey, you're drawing an arm. Like, teach me how to draw an arm." And like, oh, come on, dude. Like, go. There's 100 books that'll teach you how to draw an arm, and they probably explain it way better than I could. So go do that, and then or do that while you're hanging out with us. It's okay. But what we love to do is, or what we, how we envision ourselves as being like cool and effective in what we do, is just by being good company. That's all
Yeah,
it
we're
is.
like an online atelier company.
Yeah, you
But
do
not
your
as
serious.
in we are
Yeah,
doing
we're
atelier
not
work.
going to teach you
No,
how
no.
to do cast drawing.
But
No.
but it's like when you are in a studio with more people and you have conversations
Yeah,
about life and art, and then life
and
again, and then
everything in
art
between.
again. Yeah. So
Everything in between.
yeah. So yeah, that was terrible.
No, no, I
Oh,
think
so
that
I
this.
think this is a time sensible question.
Oh, what's that?
Briley Moreno was saying,
Briley.
Nicolas,
Briley.
any thoughts
Oof.
slash opinion slash experience with cold wax medium?
Yes,
I'm
of
at the
course.
store right now.
Oh, dude. And this is. Did you post this like 2 seconds ago?
Well, like 5 seconds ago.
Oh, okay. Briley, get it.
No,
Get it.
like
Don't get it.
2 minutes ago.
Oh, oh, fuck. He could be like, 20
Maybe he's
miles
just
from the
like
store now.
standing.
Briley, get it. It's super cool. Just use it. It's super simple. It usually is turpentine and wax and beeswax. So it's there's nothing weird about it. You could do it at home if you like it. Just buy like bleached beeswax and mix it about equal parts if you want to start there with turpentine. You have to obviously heat up your wax, do it in the double boiler. I always say bleached. I never use bleached beeswax. I use
Oh my
natural.
god.
It's tough. It's tough. I used natural beeswax with all the little residues, and it was yellow, but I loved it. I didn't mind that it was tinted at all. But if you get bleached, you're gonna get that like nice transparent. And what you have to do is like heat it up, double boiler. As soon as it melts, add equal parts terps. Start there, let it sit, let it cool down. It'll be a very soft paste if it's equal parts. And yeah, just use it, for underlayer, and it'll be super super nice. Or you could use it actually in the finishing layers. Although the content, the solvent content of wax medium is usually high, especially if you're using like equal parts. So you have to be super careful that the terps is not going to pick up your paint in underlayer. So maybe you can like isolate it with like a retouch varnish or something else. But it's super super nice. It just gives your paint like a completely different quality. And if you start to fall in love with wax, then with like that simple, very simple medium that you can get or you can make yourself, which is very very simple to make, then you can start to dive a little more into like wax mediums as a bigger wax mediums. You can even land on doing encaustic by the end if you end up loving it. I ended up loving it, and I for years I was painting with wax mediums. I didn't do too many encaustic paintings, but I did about, I mean, two I know were like finished, but I would say four, five. The other three were like somewhat experimental, but I stopped because it was just too messy for me. But I loved it. I fucking, if I had the space, if I had the ability to just fuck up my whole studio, which I don't have a studio, but it's our apartment, so I'm not gonna mess it up. We're renting, so no way. I would totally paint with encaustic. I adore the way an encaustic painting looks. Like there's nothing quite like how it looks and feels. So it doesn't like oil painting, like a traditional oil painting made with traditional oil painting mediums. It doesn't even come close. Like you can't do the things that you can do. Like it's impossible, like physically impossible to get some of the effects that you can get with encaustic. There's no way. So if you like it, dude, that's so awesome. But you have to be mindful of what it means working in encaustic. You probably have to work way bigger. Tony Sherman, for example, is an amazing artist that you know perfectly encapsulates what the sort of size that you have to work at and the expressiveness that you have to have when working in with encaustics and trying to do something that's both super expressive but also somewhat naturalist. So if you're very curious about the potential of great encaustic painting, I mean, look at Fayum portraits that are 2,000 years old, or 3,000 years old, and look at Tony Sherman's work, which is ridiculous. It's amazing. But if you want to get started, yeah, get that. If you don't want to get it because maybe they're overcharging for a nice little bottle or not bottle, like little jar of something, yeah, do it yourself. Just off the internet, get some bleached wax, get some nice turpentine, like distilled turpentine, like nice grade turpentine. Um, Double boiler, melt the wax, take it away from the heat. Be sure to turn that stove off, especially if you have like a gas stove. You don't want solvent and flames, anywhere near. And then pour equal parts. It'll start to gel almost immediately because wax, when it comes in contact with something that's cold, it just immediately will gel up. But mix it and until it just becomes nice and unified. And then there you go. You just scoop that out, put it in a jar, and you have like a fantastic medium. It's a gorgeous medium, and for people that feel like, okay, that sounds weird, wax is older. Wax and pigment is older than oil paint.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably one of the most the one of the oldest ways of painting. And strangely, with the Fayum portraits, strangely, it resembles painting that was going to be done, centuries later. Centuries later. And this was done with wax. So whomever it feels like a little hesitant about using wax, please don't. Look at the state those Fayum portraits are in. They're perfect. They're gorgeous. Danny and I saw some at the Vatican.
Yes.
They have some at they have a couple at the Vatican collection. They are gorgeous,
Yeah.
and they are naturalist, and they were thinking about light and shadow. I mean, they were thinking about modeling. It is so crazy. Like we are so dumb because we think that all of these things were just product of the Renaissance and just knowledge and illumination, and it's bullshit. It's like, no, people had figured those things out before also. It's just that we didn't really pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
So those Fayum portraits are just mind-boggling because humanity knew and understood how to paint before we were like, oh, Van Eyck did oil painting, or like, oh, look at Masaccio doing like amazing things with like paint. No, like they had figured those things out way before, way before. It's just that knowledge was lost. But but it was there. It was absolutely there. So yeah, I'm very enthused with. I get excited about wax because it was like a really, really important part of my painting for a very long time. I feel, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But I think it is messy. It's smelly. Like once you start to get into more elaborate mediums, like elaborate in the sense that you're mixing oil into it and you're mixing resin into it, like Domar varnish into it, or eventually if you're mixing Domar resin into it, not the varnish but the resin into it to do encaustics. Yeah, no, it gets messy. You're dealing with like heat and you're dealing with things just like dripping all over the place and like drying immediately. So you're having to deal with, instead of a palette, you need a hot plate to paint. So it is something else. You need to paint way bigger paintings. I mean, at least 3 feet by 3 feet, 4 feet by 4 feet paintings to understand you know how is it that it makes sense to do why it makes sense to do like wax based paintings. But when you do it, when you see it, you're like, fuck me, this is like incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's a gorgeous medium. It's just like, it's just different. It's just way different. And I don't think enough people use it because it's very hard to use. It's very, very hard to control. And it just requires like a ton of commitment. Um, and just like, you have to almost like liberate yourself from the act of painting so that you can access it being so expressive. So you kind of don't have to care about like making a mess, like making an enormous mess. You don't have to care about fucking up your brushes because you are going to mess up your brushes. Like your brushes, you can dip them as fast as you can on terps to try to get rid of all that wax and resin that's like drying immediately on your brush. It just doesn't. Plus you need like either UV lamps. Is it UV lamps? No, not UV lamps. Infrared lamps, which I obviously never had. But I was using a heat gun, or you don't have to have a heat gun, but you can use a blow dryer, an air dryer, to just constantly gel, fuse your layers together. That's what encaustic actually is. Like the nature of encaustic is like fusing your layers eventually together with heat. So it is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. But I wouldn't. There's no fucking way in hell that I could be showing you guys how to do an encaustic painting here. I mean, I could, but it's just it's not. And if you find videos of it, sometimes you get like, I'm gonna say this like um without trying to offend anyone, but you'll see like people that don't know much about painting, but they've been taught how to do like, oh, this is how to create a texture, or how to put a piece of newspaper and kind of seal it under wax, and just little techniquey things that are just kind of superficial, and they'll be fine, and they'll do like little tutorials of how to do that, but they won't make much with that. But if you think about it, that's what Jasper Johns did in his paintings. Like that is the essence of a Jasper Johns like great encaustic painting. But if you see, and I was able to see a show on Tony Sherman, on his Napoleon portraits. I saw that show in real life many years ago, and oh fuck me, like it's amazing. It's one of those things. It's almost the way I refer to uh oh, fuck, what was it in photography, wet plate collodion. I'm sorry, I was just blanking. It's the way I refer to wet plate collodion in photography. When I did that, it doesn't look like anything else. It doesn't feel like anything else. I mean, it is photography, but it doesn't feel like photography. It feels like something entirely different. It feels like alchemy of sorts. Um, it's the same thing with encaustic. Like the moment you start to see how paint behaves and the way it looks, fuck, it's amazing. Because very quickly you can, like, it takes so much effort in traditional oil paint to make something feel like it's on top of something else. And when you make it feel on top, it's like barely on top. I mean, you can sense that a brushstroke is on top, or you're glazing something on top of something else, but you're never like quite physically uh, uh, conscious of the space between one layer and the next, because it's microscopic. So it's if you cut through a paint layer and you see it under a microscope, you can see that, yes, they are layers. They are indeed layers. But you're not super conscious as a painter of how much physically they are indeed layers. But when you're doing it in encaustic, there is a space, like there's a physical space between one layer and the next. Like if you do something and then you just put something on top, it's just fucking, it feels like you could put your hand through that layer and grab what's underneath. And it's so good. It feels so cool. I'm so surprised that there's not enough people doing it, because it is, and I'm guessing I know why it is. It's just expensive because you have to buy, Damar resin, which isn't cheap, and you're going to go through wax and resin like crazy. And it's tough. You have to be a good paint, like a really, really good painter to make it work, because you have everything against you. Like technically, every single variable in trying to paint that is going against you. Like you have to have a hot plate, so you're mixing your colors, or you're melting your already mixed colors in a hot plate, and then you're grabbing them with your brush. But think about this, like as soon as you grab them, they're already cooling down, so you have to put them super quickly on your canvas. But as soon as you put them on your canvas or on your surface, whatever you're using, it dries. Like as soon as it touches it, it dries immediately. Like it's just amazing. It just dries. So for you to manipulate it, you have to like manipulate your heat source and your brushing at the same time, and just like kind of manage that. It's amazing. It's incredible. But yeah, so I don't know. I haven't seen anyone aside from Sherman doing anything that would be of value, I would say, that could push encaustic further, in sort of contemporary painting, which is a shame, which is a damn shame, I'm going to say. But maybe somebody here is going to eventually do it, and that would be amazing. I got a little too excited. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, so Briley, I guess he's at
Briley's
home
gone.
right now. No,
Briley's in the parking lot like,
no.
fuck this.
Briley said, I got it. Very excited to give it a shot. Thank
Awesome.
you for the semi-timely answer.
Oh my
And a laughing
God.
emoji.
That's like, there's a dig in there. The hell, dude.
Carla was saying, wax sounds exciting.
It is. It's so great.
Salmon Catcher was saying, not gonna be me. And a crying face. Why? You could try it, Salmon.
I mean, it is tough. It is a tough way to paint, and it's messy. It's so fucking messy.
But if it's something they want to try, they could.
By the way, did you see Messi's contract? You know that every team in the MLS is chipping in to pay Messi's salary.
I told you when I told you
Every single team.
I told you when Messi accepted to go to the US,
Yeah.
I told you I'm sure they have to have offered like an absurd amount of money cuz he was going to get a very good
Yeah.
deal.
Well, he
Before.
said no to $1.7 billion.
Exactly. So I
Fuck
told you,
me.
and you were like, no, maybe it's because he wants to
I
go to the
thought, yeah.
US. He's
Idiot
closer
me.
to
I was like, of course he's not doing this for the
Argentina.
money.
No, it's maybe because he wants to have a good some good years
I was like, of course.
near
he's gonna go
his
to,
land.
Rosario
Yeah.
and play for like free.
And I was like, no, let's wait and see the
No,
numbers.
No, they're giving him money like um they're giving him money, a percentage of money from the de las entradas, from the tickets.
Yeah.
He's getting money from everywhere.
That's the only way
Everywhere.
to afford having him there.
No, and he's obviously going to make the league bigger.
Of course.
He himself, like I was watching this thing that as soon as he moved to Inter Miami or whatever he's going to play, I don't even know. I know it's in Miami.
Sí, es el
Inter Miami, I
Inter
think.
Miami, yeah.
They gained like one day to the next 4 million followers
Yeah.
on Instagram.
I'm
so
sure.
it's the potential
That's
market
why
of
when you
selling
said,
4
no, I'm sure he did it because, I mean, it was closer to Latin America. And I was like, no, Nicolas.
I mean,
Please.
this is idiot.
I mean,
idiot me thinking that
Please.
that people don't do things just for money.
mm, so Pankernik dice, ayer me chorreaba la bolsa de basura y no me sale la palabra que dijeron el otro día. ¿Me sale los amoxiliados? Casi. A ver
Ahí
si tú te acuerdas.
se le mezcló amoxicilina, se le mezcló la
Amoxicilina con los.
lixiviados.
Muy bien. Los lixiviados, Pankernik.
Pero a mí lixiviados todavía me suena como uno va a un juzgado
El
y hay un
lixiviado. ¿El
lixiviado
licenciado te
y
suena
hay
a
un lixiviado
lixiviado?
que le ayuda a uno a hacer la minuta.
Ascendieron al licenciado.
Sí,
Ahora es
no, ahorita estoy
lixiviado.
de lixiviado ahí la
Em,
notaría 13.
let's see. Mm. Veliko Duric was saying those tattoos are the same and hurt just as the same as real ones, but I guess inks fades. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Michael McEwen was saying you should listen to Scotland beating Norway 2 days ago. They scored 2 goals in the last 2 minutes to win. Ooh. I would like to see the.
Yeah. I'm gonna check and I'm gonna see if I have my Scottish narrator.
Because Cody was
Oh,
also
it's
saying,
so
oh, I
fucking
have
good.
seen that Scottish
Ah.
commentary. So funny.
Oh, I
Mm.
think I saw that because they were saying like, oh, the Vikings came here and took some of our women and our sheep and some of our sheep. It's so it is so stupid and so good. Oh fuck! It doesn't matter.
MM Borg00, so Monique, was saying Scottish accent is good, Nicolas. And a
Oh
laughing emoji.
no,
They're too kind. But I
you're
think
too
it's not
kind.
that bad. I
You're
mean,
too kind.
Carla Anglada was saying, I'm feeling excited today. I sold a painting.
Oh, there we go.
My first one this year. How are
Hell
you
yeah.
guys? How is Sweet Chili? Sweet
Hell
Chilita
yeah.
is happy for you, Carla, for selling that painting.
Fuck yeah. That's
Congratulations.
awesome. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's always a good feeling.
Yes, yes,
Always,
yes.
always a good feeling.
And how are we? We're good.
We're good.
Very good.
Now better knowing that
Yes.
Carla is happy.
Liad was saying, that's fantastic, Carla. Cody was saying, congrats, Carla. Let's see.
Very good painter, Carla, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Please check her work out.
And
Really good painter.
an amazing title creator.
Oh, well, that's,
Title inventor.
that is, why would we even point that out? It's
Yeah.
so obvious.
I mean, I would say her paintings are just a reflection
of her
of her
soul.
talent.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cody was
Yeah.
saying, I will technically be making my first sale of the year tomorrow. Kinda. Collecting payment for my bear skull commission
There we
that
go.
I almost ruined multiple times. Haha. Was it tough, Cody? Was it complicated?
It's a great painting, too, by the way.
By the way, but
Very
I love
nice paintings.
that Cody was saying, I almost ruined it multiple times.
I know, with the freaking...
It's like,
well, with the
oh, the
wood...
particles.
Yeah, he was sanding
Oh,
wood.
God. Cody, was it for the commission?
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Oh, Cody.
Jesus Christ, Cody. What the fuck, dude?
Oh, Cody. But I'm happy that you're giving it tomorrow. So, amazing.
Are you like most of us, both Carla and Cody, that even without getting paid, you already know how you're wasting the money? Not even spending the money. How you're wasting the money.
Michael McEwen was saying, Monique has heard my Scottish accent in Renzo's Zoom meeting.
Renzo.
The Scottish. I can't do that.
I don't. Renzo.
Scottish.
If he's Peruano, Peruvian, then I can't say Renzo knowing that it's Renzo.
Say, excuse me, Renzo, I have a question in your best
I have a
Scottish.
question.
No,
I have a,
what
I
I
have
said.
a,
No, no.
the thing is, I
Excuse
need
me.
R's. I need R's.
No,
No,
but
I don't need an R's.
excuse me,
Excuse
Renzo.
me, Renzo.
I have a
I
question.
have a question
That was
for
good.
you. I have a question for you. La. No, La. I'm mixing. No. I'm mixing my Liverpool. I'm mixing. La is Liverpool. I feel.
I think they say I.
I. Scottish. Yeah. I.
Mm, let's see.
Las. I need something darker. This drawing is like. I feel like if I sneeze, it disappears.
No.
No, it doesn't feel like dust or something.
No.
Feels like a freaking silver point drawing. It just doesn't. It barely exists.
It is silver. No.
Okay, no. Silver point.
I was gonna say
It's
paper
a silver
point.
point drawing.
No.
It's a silver point.
Paper point. I
It's
was
a
gonna
silver
say.
point. I tell ya.
Mhm.
Silver point.
I think it was better before.
No.
Before the I tell ya.
I
That
tell
was
ya.
terrible.
These Muppets.
Let's see. Daniel Ángel Báez López dice, ¿hablan español también?
Siempre
Claro
sí.
que sí.
Como ayer, el stream de ayer, por favor, muy invitado a verlo. Casi 100% español.
Y muy de la tierrita los temas.
Sí, muy autóctono.
So, Chili's gonna go sleep a little bit. So, this is a goodbye for
Goodbye, Chili.
Carla that
Goodbye,
loves
chili dog. Goodbye. Goodbye, chili dog. Lafia.
Lafia?
Lafia. Lafia, you dirty
Lafia, you know.
fucking dog.
No.
No, it's terrible. You know what I just did? I changed color and it didn't do anything.
It's the same one,
Yeah, it's
but with
kinda
a
like the same.
different wrapping.
It's the same. It's not making it darker at all. So this is going to be a very subtle drawing. I'm gonna say.
Amazing, yeah.
We're going to do. It's going to take a bit of a longer time to give this some depth. I feel.
Gustavo Segovia dice, hola Nico, Dani, Chili, Chat. Les mando un saludo desde Buenos Aires.
Tan amable.
Hola Gustavo, un saludo hasta Buenos
Bonaerense,
Aires.
sí.
Como digo yo. Dana. Ay,
Mhm.
Chili. ¿Quiere que la hagas?
Say hello to Chili again. That was a
She's
fast
back.
goodbye. Yeah.
She was stretching a little bit. And she's back. To my arms, where she belongs. A le gusta, no la estoy obligando.
Mm-hmm.
Quieta. Mentira. Dana was
Dana.
saying, Chili is so cute. Yes, she is.
Amazing.
She's beautiful. And Dana was saying, ay no, ¿quieres ir hacia donde tú estás otra vez? No, chilangas. Dana was saying, have you asked around about those mysterious sales pitchy wax paints again? I'm still intrigued, but haven't ordered any myself yet.
Oh no.
Remember, yeah, the water-based
Yeah, no.
wax.
No.
Oh, do you want me to open a tab so we can
Yes, please.
check those out afterwards?
Yeah, but they were so like, arcane about it. Like they weren't saying anything. So, I don't
Ay, chilango.
if they had nothing to hide, they would say they would be pretty open about what's in their paint, but everything sounded like so obscure and so like trying to be poetic and no, I don't know. It was like a sales pitch of
Okay. Chilita. Juiciosa. A ver. Ya te abrí la pestaña
Okay.
para que la.
What are they called again? What are they called?
Mm,
Starren paints.
well, I googled water soluble wax paints.
Okay.
So
And then they
it
showed up.
says encaustic wax, crystal clay,
Meth.
crystal cere, Water-based coating, no. Ceracolors.
Are you sure?
Waterborne wax paints. Yeah, I remember the name.
Waterborne?
Yeah.
Waterborne.
Borne.
Waterborne. Waterborne.
But not born as in
No, Borne.
borne.
Beorne.
Beorne.
Waterborne.
Yeah, it's
Water.
Ceracolors.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Waterborne wax paint.
I mean, I'd feel kind of stupid just buying them and trying
I
them
can
out.
buy them.
Well, how expensive are they?
I don't care feeling stupid. Let's see. Paint.
What? They have Rublev in that? Oh, this is like a nat. It redirects to natural
Ceracolors.
pigments?
Yeah.
What?
What? Wait, because I have like some
Yeah.
here and
thank you.
it's Jesus.
Oh my God. Pop-ups.
Oh, the pop-ups, yeah.
Galore.
So Ceracolors paints, I guess.
Okay, but I could write to.
It says $7.
Oh my God.
What? I thought it was gonna be like okay.
How much is Well, cerulean is 18.
Yeah.
These are small tubes, I bet. How much? How many?
Well, but the cobalt is
18
50
also.
milliliters.
Okay. I mean, small tubes.
Because the
but-
7, no, 50.
Okay, so regular, not tiny tubes like
No.
these, but the more regular tubes, I guess. Okay.
I think
them putting like Bayum portraits there. Oh my God. Yeah,
they
that's
were
what
done
use.
with
yeah,
Ceracolors.
that's what they use. Yeah, right. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh God.
Cadmium red.
Do they sell medium? Do they sell something as a medium for this? I'd be curious.
Yeah, I think
this would tell me a lot. What they do, what they sell as a medium for this.
yeah, because you have here mediums and additives.
Okay, in the Sarah color.
Ceracolors web
I hope they don't
page.
say like Sarah medium.
Where is it? Mediums and additives. Fluid medium,
Okay, this sounds dumb.
gel, heavy
No.
body,
Okay, great. Yeah, that doesn't. say-
retarder, additive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy them.
No, but I need to. No.
I'm gonna
Wait,
try
no,
them.
But we
I
need
think
to.
they're cool. I mean, I don't know if they're
I
cool.
could try to write to them first. I mean, I don't know them personally. I think Peggy knows them personally. She took something? No.
No,
No. She's fine.
Okay.
I think Peggy knows them personally because she sells.
natural
Well, what is the company though? Because
Ceracolors.
yeah, but they're made by
Ceracolors.
or something.
Oh no, it says Male Natural Pigments LLC.
Yeah, those are the people that make Rublev. I feel. And Rublev is really good oil paint.
Wow,
like
so
insanely.
oh
good
yeah,
oil
it says
paint.
Ceracolors are manufactured by Natural Pigments.
Yeah, they make some of the Rublev colors are some of the best colors that you could buy because they're handmade.
And they do.
Yeah,
Rublev.
they're very good. Take a look and see how much a Rublev vermilion costs.
So let's see. Oil paints. Oh no, but this is what?
Yeah, give it a search. Give a search to
No,
Rublev.
because I'm in the page, so I can see it here.
Yeah, well, search. I meant that, like search in the page.
Oil paints. What color did you say?
Vermilion.
Let's see. $141.
A tube, like a regular
A tube.
Yeah, isn't that nice? True vermilion.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it's fucking
My
amazing.
pocket.
Yeah, it's incredible paint, by the way. And they make pigments and nobody else is
How
making.
big is it?
I have
the
one.
tube?
I have a Latin yellow. Latin yellow. No, I can't reach it, but I have a Latin.
I trust you. I trust
Yeah.
you. No, I wanted to see the size of it.
It's a longer tube. It's about that big.
It's still crazy expensive.
I mean, it's very expensive. Yeah, but it's excellent paint. It's like
No, I'm
extraordinary.
sure. I'm sure.
It's extraordinarily good paint.
But now I'm more interested in it. Because if it's from the same house.
Oh, I
que
could
es
write.
la misma casa.
Yeah, sure.
From the same house
Yeah.
that does the Rublev.
Oh, so that they've earned
trust.
Our trust, I'm sure. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, also.
So
I'm interested. Yeah.
me too. Me
Now
too.
it's piqued my interest, I would say. I didn't
Mm,
know that they were the ones that made it.
no, me
It sounded
neither.
like hokey. It sounded like, oh, come on. I would say like, oh, don't uh
Coco cogió un papel de los de pintura.
I don't know from where. It's okay. She'll be fine. Déjalo ver. Where did she get it from? She didn't come through here though. Oh, look, she spit it out. She's fine. I didn't see her coming. Ah, she's fine. I've eaten more paint than her. She's fine. She'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Chili eating paint.
No,
Not
I
eating
hope
paint.
not.
Ah, she's fine. Don't worry.
No, but I'm scared. I want to take care of her all.
I know, but she's not.
I
Even
told
if
her,
she,
no.
even if she just chewed on like a paper towel with some stains, some paint stains, like she'll be fine.
Mm, let's see. So Simon Kutcher, when they were saying that they're not gonna be the next wax, like encaustic
Yeah.
painter, they were saying, "I won't trust myself with fire,"
Oh
and a
well,
crying emoji.
well, this is not fire. This is more heat than fire. But yeah, we never want it when dealing with solvent. We never want to get to the point where it's fire.
Um,
Está haciendo
¿Sí?
pipí, pipí. Ah, she's fine.
Pues, pero-
Great.
John Doe was saying, "Hello, Nicolas and Danny. I remember Nicolas from the
Chenini.
Chenini Forum days.
Chenito Chenini.
I was
Oh, who's this again?
John Doe.
Okay, so I don't know who this is, but if you could, were you active in the forum? Because I would love to if you were active, I would love to um, uh, say hi to you by your name because I like that.
Maybe
time.
it's John, because it's John Doe. It's a
Yeah,
play on words, because he's John.
maybe.
And they were saying, I was happy to find you guys a few months back, and I'm happily catching up. Thanks for what you're doing.
No way.
Oh, that's so
awesome.
nice. And it's so cool that they go so long,
I know.
so long ago.
Yeah. It's good. I have very nice memories of that time, I feel.
Mm. Carla Gómez dice, el otro día estaba haciendo un ejercicio al óleo por la noche y olvidé abrir las ventanas. En un rato estaba ahogándome. Y una carita al revés.
Sí, Carla, si usa... Ah, pero ¿estamos en español con Carla?
Carla Gómez.
Ah, Carla Gómez, perdón.
Sí.
Sí, Carla, no, cuidado. Si está usando solventes, si está usando medios, resinas como barnices, toca ventilar. Ah, cuidado, me hace el favor.
MM Borg00, so Monique, was saying, I have a couple encaustic pieces in my art collection. Love that medium.
That is very cool.
Cody Winnicky was saying, I like to learn things the hard way, okay? That way, the lesson really sticks. Yeah, like the wood particles stick. to that
Yeah.
Painting.
Jesus Christ.
And Cody was saying, oh yeah, the money is going towards the next tattoo.
Oh, there we go.
What are you going to get? A bear skull. Um, let's see.
This is so slow. I kind of want to say I apologize, but not really. Like I'm just
Why would you
doing it at my own
apologize?
pace. Yeah.
Oh my god, if I was carving,
Ah, forget it.
it would be a month straight stream.
Yeah.
So
For the blocking.
um Michael McEwen was saying I
I.
very good. Uh and Michael was saying, is that Nicolas' body?
Oh, stop. No.
I think it's funny that people ask, they're like very shy to ask. It's like,
Yeah. No, no, no. No. I'm sorry to not I'm sorry. She's licking something. No, no, no. Her el coso ese caucho.
the Kong. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry to ruin some dreams. No, no, no. No. No, not at all. Not even close.
No,
Not
your
even close.
body's better. That sounds weird, but
Thank you for that. You're so kind and lovely, and you see me through, um, beer goggles. But no, 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 not even like I don't even think I have the same bone structure as this person. I think we're different.
mm,
Different species. My the village that I belong to is doughier people. I feel way doughier.
Simon Kutcher was saying, guys, I remember a story about an American that went to Scotland to escape from the US government and has been pretending to be a posh Englishman in Scotland.
Mm.
And a crying emoji.
I mean, there is hope for me then.
Daniel Martins was saying, muito lindo.
Muito
Hey,
obrigado.
Daniel. I think that's Daniel's go to.
Yeah. Muito lindo, Nicolás. Muito obrigado, Daniel.
Tyler Summers was saying, Nicolas,
Tyler.
what did your work look like at 18?
Oh, comic booky.
Baby fist.
No, 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 because I didn't
That was
even.
20.
I wasn't even attempting. No, no, no. That. Oh, 18.
18, yeah.
Oh no,
Think
yeah,
baby fist
18.
bump.
I would have been painting. I would have been first year of art school. So yeah, fist pumping, a flying baby. I did
With
an ogre.
strawberry,
Yeah, I did the
iceberg.
pony in the stable.
Mm-hmm.
Which retrospectively, I think it could have looked like like that Lucian Freud, those Lucian Freud paintings of his horses, but obviously no.
Not in the good way, let's
Well,
say.
not in any way, not in at
Well,
all
because
in
you're
any
saying
way.
it looks like a Freud painting, and someone could
I
say,
mean,
"Oh my God, that's
no,
amazing."
no, no, not in no, 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 no. So what did I do? Fist pumping baby. I did the
Yeah.
I did no, she's good.
Por eso.
Yeah. I did the pony. I did I had to do a triptych with like a closing triptych, like those old school, kind of like Rubens triptychs that they would have these two doors, and if you close them up, you get an image. You open them up, the two wings of the triptych would also play off of the central image. We had to do one of those, and mine was of some ogre like killing some mushrooms, some like weird mushroom people. Not mushroom people, just like animated mushrooms. Yeah, he was like, just this oafish uh, sort of colossus ogre character, and I forget if he's like about to stab it, or if it's just like grabbing it, like, and the mushroom had a face, and it was like, it was struggling, under his like clenched, fist or something. I don't know. And then I think if you closed it, it was just a couple of mushrooms together or something. So I did that. What else did I do? I remember then doing like a series, more like a series of portraits. I remember I did like when we were asked to do like a painting that was also like a little installation. So, and the idea that I had was that Campbell from Campbell's Soup. I imagined Campbell as like this old guy. So it was this portrait of this old guy, but he had died. So I built like a little altarpiece around this painting that I did of him, and then I built these like little stairs from wood, and I covered them up in velvet, in red velvet, and I did like a red velvet carpet leading up to the altar that had like little candles and stuff, like dripping wax little candles over the thing that I had. This, by the way, sounds way cooler than what I actually did, but it was my intent. So Campbell's had died. Let's say John Campbell's, because I have no idea where Campbell's soup comes from. I guess the Campbell's family, but I don't know. But so the creator had died, so I imagine him like as an old guy, and then I lined up all these like soups, all these cans of soups, on this carpet, and they were just trying to pay, their respect to the altarpiece where Campbell's was. So it was really cool, and I lit up all the candles, and they were dripping wax, and I thought it was fun. I don't know,
It was
but those are the sort of stuff those were the sort of things that I would do.
a lot of things happening in
Yeah,
every
yeah,
single
yeah.
piece.
Yeah, yeah. I
It's
thought,
like a
but it
whole
was. I
universe.
remember that piece was like the first time that I noticed that I could be super playful, that I could be really really playful when I did something.
La basura.
Yeah, I don't know how she did that.
Well, she can reach the trash.
You're gonna. Yeah, if I didn't put it there, you were gonna be.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I know you're suffering.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but
A lot of it.
I loved my Campbell soup painting. Yeah, installation
No,
thing.
it sounds cool. I mean, it sounds like you were
I was having fun.
like
And
really, yeah.
I was more importantly, I was getting comfortable with my own sort of bad humor and my own it's sort of imaginarium of of the things that I wanted to represent, and just feeling okay wanting to do those kind of dumb things. And I think my teacher that was a terrible painting teacher, because he never taught us anything about painting, to be completely honest. um, he was very nice in the sense that he appreciated those sort of things where you were willing to take a chance and you were willing to like just try something out and it'd be like weird and fun. And so he loved those exercises. And after that I was I just felt comfortable, and I was doing like all these like stupid little things all the time. So I was trying to mix objects and paint and paint together.
But I've told you that I loved, for example, the fist pumping baby.
This was
Everything.
post fist pumping baby.
Yeah, but everything that happens there,
yeah,
it's like there's a million things happening.
yeah, that have
And
like
I love that
no reason
your
for
brain thought, okay, I need a strawberry and an iceberg and a butterfly and a baby
being. Yeah, fist
that's
pumping baby.
naked and has a fist pump, and I
Yeah.
need like this and this and that and that and that.
Like glacier in the background.
It was like everything everywhere all at once.
Oh, yeah.
That's the title of that period of your.
Yeah, I
Um,
had no discernment. I had no way. I had no editing power
But I love
in
that.
me.
No, but I love
It was
that you
all of
were
it.
you were exploring, and you wanted to explore all
Yes,
the things
everything.
you wanted, and I
Yeah.
love that
Yeah,
because sometimes when we are starting, we're a little bit afraid of course, not knowing what we're doing, so we just stick with little things.
yeah. I
So,
also
for
had to
example,
say-
there were people. I'm sorry.
Go no,
So-
go
so
ahead, please. Go ahead.
there were people when I was studying at the university. I remember one of the comments that the teachers would always say is, "Don't be afraid of a background. Like, if you don't do a background, for example, for a portrait, it's because it's a decision, but not because you're scared of doing
Yeah.
more." And that happened a lot. Like, you would see the final work of someone, and it was like some little thing happening in the center and nothing else, because they were afraid of like filling the paper with things. And I love that in your case, you were like, you know what? I'm so afraid of so many things that I'm just gonna do them all in the same painting.
Yes,
So
one the the one painting for the end of time.
I love that. I really love that.
Well, thank you. You're being way too generous because these were obviously not super successful attempts at painting, but they were honest. I would say that was a good thing. No, and what I was gonna get to is that I remember just being surrounded also by super talented people at that time. There was this dude Steve, who was just so insanely good at. I mean, he was our age, but he had been studying like in an art school before, and you could tell that this dude was, he had knowledge of art that just nobody else had possessed, and he had gotten like a full-time scholarship. You could tell how different he was, how intelligent he was. He was incredibly intelligent, very, very good, like very, very, very good, uh, but just so much heavily into drugs. I mean, it was so sad.
Mm,
Yeah, it was so sad to see somebody so young that was so heavily into drugs, and I don't know. It was for me. It was very. It was clashing almost, like understanding like the real world of art,
mm,
how somebody like how so quickly, because I was young, 17, but that somebody could be so talented, like so different than the rest of us, and also so willing to just kind of throw everything away
mm,
because he obviously suffered. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm, people can do whatever they want with their lives, and I'm, that's not a conversation that I don't have place in those conversations. You do whatever you want, but it was just sad to see him sort of throw all of that away. I don't even think he graduated
mm,
with us, and so it was very, very sad. He was a genius. He was literally a genius artist. So in the moments that I did have that I could share certain classes with him, I was just, it was a blessing. It was really a blessing just to see how much he could push and how
mm,
inventive he was. And so you would just take cues from other painters, from other artists, and young artists like your fellow students. And when you were scared, you would just hope to get courage from
yeah.
these people that were clearly not scared to be fearless, and so I remember him just oof, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where Steve is. I could ask. I could ask like a friend of mine that I if there's anyone that would know if he eventually made something of himself in the art world, which I think the art world, if he was in a good place, the art world would have been a better place because of him.
Mm-hmm.
I hope, you know, but it wouldn't surprise me if somebody told me, "Oh no, he died." Like he died when he was 25 or 24 of an overdose.
But
I
you could
I would have
ask.
been like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, sure." Like I believe
Mm,
that.
mm,
But I'll ask my friend because
yeah.
I think that if anyone could know about Steve, it would be him, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna ask.
But I have to say that something that I really loved about art school was that, like, being pushed, like feeling that you can push because of the people around you,
Yeah,
not
it's awesome.
because of the teachers, because that's like an obvious thing that you think about when you go to learn, that you're
Yeah,
gonna learn something from your teacher.
yeah. That's
But it's
there.
amazing to see that you can learn so many things with the people around you, from the people around you, and
Oh yeah.
how can a group of people that's also there to learn can push you to do things that maybe if you were alone you wouldn't have the courage to do.
Yes,
So
I totally agree with that. I don't think that there's no guarantee of you being a great part of a great class just because the institution, the rooms are great, or the location is great, and the studios are great, and the teachers are great. Like that doesn't guarantee anything, I feel. But if you are part of a group of 30 people, and everyone in that group is pushing,
yeah,
oh my god, that you are part of something special. Like you are going to
a
be part
hundred
of something
percent
special.
yes. Yes, and you can see how you can have an amazing teacher, and sometimes you, or that happened to me. So I'm going to talk from myself. I feel like I've learned a lot from amazing teachers when I was studying, but I feel like I really remember semesters where the group that I had, like the group of students for a specific class, made me grow as an artist so much
Yeah.
because of the group.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Julia Tovar was saying being an
Tovar.
art student was so great.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was amazing. Julia was an incredible. I mean, she's still an incredible artist.
she is.
But I remember her very fondly because she was a great, great young artist.
I think it would have been very cool to be studying at the same time that Julia did.
Oh no,
I think we would
she
have
wasn't
been
that nice.
friends.
No, she wasn't that
We
nice.
would have been like making dumb jokes.
No, she wasn't that nice.
Or I
back
could be
then.
making dumb jokes and she would laugh about them. So
No, she was.
that would be
She was
great.
very cool. She's very intelligent, super hardworking, and just crazy talented. So, what more could you ask?
Mm, Dana was saying, I have only seen one person on YouTube show a substantive portrait painting with them, talking about the
Encaustic. Yeah.
encaustic, water soluble encaustic.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Promise that for tomorrow. Are we good for tomorrow? Tomorrow. What day is today? Wednesday. Thursday?
Tomorrow's our anniversary.
Yeah. Oh no. So, well, I don't know what we're doing, but yeah. No, tomorrow our schedule is busy.
Yes. Well, I don't know what. I mean, we could just like hang
Yeah.
here and watch a movie or
No. That's-
whatever,
yes.
but
Friday. For Friday, we'll have
Friday afternoon
information.
or late morning because we have.
Yeah, afternoon.
Yes.
Afternoon.
Monique was saying, "Are you planning to paint over this drawing?"
No, not really. I wouldn't have taken this drawing, this far if I was thinking of painting over it. So, I mean, some people do, but it wouldn't be what I would do.
Liad was saying, "I have to get going. It was great hanging out with you all." Danny, Nicolas, thank you. And your drawing is looking really good.
No, thank you, Leah.
Have a great trip, Liad. I don't know
when are you
you're.
leaving?
No, well, they're
If you're
gone.
leaving Sue, okay.
I think they're gone because they were saying I have to get going, and it was
Well, I don't know
some
if they were
time
like,
ago.
yeah, okay, but I don't
So-
know if they were like heading. Like,
But if you're
my
still
plane
here,
is boarding, but
if you're still here, Liad, when are you leaving? We
Yeah.
want to know. And if you leave very soon and we don't know when you leave, have a
Okay.
great trip. I don't know, that was terrible phrasing, but have a great trip and enjoy your time with your mom.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, what?
we just said all this, and Carla
Yeah.
was saying, when are you leaving for Israel, Liad? And Liad said, tonight.
Oh.
So have a great trip.
Yes. Best of luck.
Yes. Yeah, so everyone was being so nice and saying, wishing Liad a safe trip.
Of course. I'm sure it'll be great to go home again.
Raimo Gali, alias Sandalias, dice, who is this? John Doe. Oh, I don't know who that is. That's a whole joke by itself. It really is. It's like a crime,
What?
like a true crime joke. Who is this? John Doe.
Who's this John Doe?
No, who is this? Says, so look at my hands.
Yeah.
Who is this? John Doe. Oh, I don't know who that is. Do you get it? Because
Yeah.
Jane Doe and John Doe.
No. I got it. I got it.
So-
And who was answering? John Doe?
What?
Who
No,
was
it's
answering the. Oh,
it's a
he was
conversation
doing a-
between two people.
Oh, he
Who
was
is
doing
this?
the joke. Oh, okay.
John Doe.
Oh, okay.
And I think
I
that's
thought it was a conversation about.
no, I
you know,
think that's
between two
something we
actual
said.
people.
No, we said that because John Doe was saying that they remember you from the forum.
Yeah.
The
No,
internet
I know.
forum.
Yeah, no.
So
I
you
know.
asked
we're getting,
me,
We're getting too
Who is
complicated
this?
here.
And I said John Doe and said, oh, I don't know who that is.
Well,
So,
there's no way. That's why it's a John Doe. No, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. We don't have to kill this joke or
well, you killed it. So, but it was good. Sandalias. Mm, Pankernik was saying, sorry to burst your bubble. What bubble?
what? What did we
With
do?
what? Mm, Salmon Kutcher was saying, by the way, Nicolas,
Yes.
will you only use one color for this one? I've seen
No.
some awesome works with blue and red one is usually to show light, the other to show
Oh
shadow.
yeah, yeah. I remember using. Yeah, no. I mean, I was hoping that the difference between the two or the one that I introduced would slowly give me like a chance to
It's
kind of
subtle.
model, and it is very. It's too subtle, I would say. No, I think maybe tomorrow I'm gonna do something even tackier, which is bring out
No, but
some of
not
my.
tomorrow.
Well, no, 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 not for a video. So
Okay.
sorry. If I work on this, I may work on this. Not and not in during a live video. Um, but if I work on this, I may bring my tacky fluorescent color pencils out that are even cheaper than these. So don't even like think that that's where the money comes into the drawing. Um, and I may start to New Jersey this drawing up. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Dana was saying the talking hands totally sold it. Ha ha ha. I think it was the only way that Nicolas could understand the joke. Because it's different for me that I'm reading the quotes and you're just listening to me reading
Yeah, what I
without
did
the
not. Yeah,
quotes.
yeah. Let's not get into it. No, no, no. Because I was gonna get into it again, but it would be a massacre of the joke. By the way, you know what's been like buzzing in the art illustration Viz Def world today?
Go ahead.
There's a new Disney show coming out, the
Mm-hmm.
Marvel Disney show coming out, like a series,
Okay. What is it
Secret
about?
Wars, about the
Secret
Skrull.
Wars?
Yeah, like Nick Fury, Skrull, and
It,
it's sort of like an espionage. I haven't seen it. We can see it tonight. But it's sort of like espionage and I don't know. It could be interesting. Who
you know,
knows if it's good?
I'm up to like
Yeah,
watching
it
all
could be good.
those.
It could be good. But the intro for the show, and they're saying that it's conceptually relevant with what the show is, given that the Skrull are like an alien race that came to Earth, and they pose themselves as human beings, even though they have no idea what it means to act like human beings. So they are these faux human beings, these like superficial, like they look like human beings, but they don't understand what it is to be human. So Disney made a very bold choice, which is very interesting because conceptually you could say, oh, that's actually quite, it's not brilliant, but you could say like that's actually pretty gutsy of them to do this. But the intro for the show is made on AI.
That's what I was gonna guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Oh.
it's kind of interesting, and people are like, of course, like people in the VizDev community
I know what
have
they're
been like,
doing.
okay, it's over, it's
No,
over.
and I know what they're doing with that because it is the topic of conversation. It's like it's something that can make people try and see the show more
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
just because it's like a controversial topic.
I wonder if it's not going to backfire on. I mean, they've been sort of they haven't been doing really well, although with their productions, the
Yeah, with the
latest
movies.
production.
I think we
Yeah, they
saw
haven't.
kind of a video
I think
yesterday
I
about
think
that.
Guardians did really well for them. I think Way of Water did. I mean, maybe they don't give a shit because they Avatar raked in money like that made over $1 billion.
Yeah, but
I
we
think
were seeing
Guardians
a
did
video.
well.
You were seeing a video yesterday
Yeah,
about
but
that, about the movies.
the latest shows and movies, like Quantumania, they didn't do well at all.
It was,
Um,
I have to say, it was not good.
no, no, it's not a good movie. It's not a.
No.
I watched it a second time, and it's not a horrendous movie, but it's just it's just a movie. It's a dumb movie. Um, but yeah, but they haven't done well, and it seems like the new Pixar movie, which looks quite beautiful. I mean, I always try to. My brain sadly can't quite separate like things that look beautiful from then maybe not great storytelling and but sometimes my artist brain, my visual brain will put up with so much crap
Yeah.
just
No,
because
I
I
get it.
find it visually appealing.
Yeah.
So the new movie looks beautiful. I mean it's Pixar. These guys are like insanely talented. So of course they can produce a beautiful picture. Yeah, but I guess people are still yearning for the Pixar that made Toy Story and they that made The Incredibles. Like Incredibles for me is one of my favorite movies, favorite animated
No,
movies
but you
ever.
said Toy Story. That's my favorite.
No, come on. Like
It's like
that is
best of all
legendary.
times. It's
It's
like,
legendary.
yeah.
So people are wondering like what is going on? Like what the hell's happening with like good stories?
Mm.
So yeah, so they are feeling it. I think they're feeling that heat a little bit. So I don't know if just not being critically acclaimed plus getting a lot of a section of the artist community to like begin to really bash them and really say, hey, don't watch this. Like by watching, because eventually what it becomes is like, hey, if you're watching this, you're just promoting this. So I'm sure many artists knew like saw this because they never talked about this, but many artists saw this yesterday or today and they canceled their subscription immediately. Like they're they're very sort of gun ho about it. It's like, hey, sorry, I'm opposed to this, and that's it. So I thought in a more nuanced world, we would be able to have like a better conversation and say like, hey, that's kind of messed up, but kind of cool that you decided to do this intro, you know, this way because of the story that is, and because
Like it makes
of the
sense.
characters that are part of this, that are an essential part of this story. So it could be really really cool, but that's not the conversation that we're having. Like it should be more nuanced, but sadly this is this is a sin. It's like, hey, this is technology. You are retrograde. You are you're thinking like an old person for not letting technology take its course. That's the tech bro side, as people define it. And then you get the artist side, which is like, this is a sin. This is the worst thing that has ever happened to humanity. And I guess what I would have loved to hear the conversations of when photography started to become somewhat ubiquitous, in the late, certainly in the late 19th century for sure, but how painters were like, we are fucked. We are fucked. Like, this is the end of painting. This has to be the end of painting. Um, because I am positive that these conversations were happening, in that tone in the artistic community, in the painting community at that time. So there's always I always feel that there's always like a threat. There's always a threat. And this is just like something that we consider like the new thing that we consider a threat. And we're just like in a very early stage of having of attempting to have a conversation about this, but we can't. So I don't even think that the artists that were like, oh, that's actually cool, that they decided to do this based on the scroll, because they are talking about the scroll, like it totally makes sense. Um, I don't think they can even voice their opinion because they would be crucified. So it's one of those things. But I thought it was really, I mean, it's a choice. It's very interesting. It's very interesting that Disney Marvel was going to be one of the first to do this. It's something. It is something. So I love it. I love a good shit show. I love it. I want to see where all this ends up. So
País Llanero was saying a strategy to sell the show to wider audience.
probably, yeah. You get way more people talking about a show that was probably not going to be, very appealing to a mass audience. So you're
Yeah.
right.
Salmon Kutcher was saying, wait, Marvel used AI in a show, I'm out.
Yeah, see?
And they
There you
were
go.
saying, I didn't watch the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and I won't watch it.
Oh, no, no, no. Well,
And they were saying, yes, Toy Story was great. And they were also saying, modern animation is not that great, but few are, like Puss in Boots. We haven't seen that.
no, no. I
And
mean,
there's a,
this is like highly commercial.
but I have to say, there's a dog that's like
Oh, yeah.
chilly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. The Chihuahua. It's called perro or dog
perrito.
or something. Yeah.
I think it's perrito.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like Puss in Boots and the Spider-Man films.
Oh,
By the way, they used AI in Spider-Man, but it was only trained by consenting artists.
I wonder. So this is the nuanced part. I wonder. Chili wonders too. If
She was
if the
like,
intro was based, I mean, you could feed an AI whatever images you decide. So I wonder if these were images that were made by concept work that was made by illustrators hired by Disney that were then fed to AI, and based on that, they, regurgitated some other, kind of imagery. So you could have trained it with consenting artists' work. And I don't know what would be weird about that, because that doesn't seem to be illegal in any way if that's what happened. But again, a lot of the conversation, like just saying AI, sadly lumps so many things that are happening together, so that it just makes the conversation sort of impossible. But I just thought that it's very it's really really gutsy. It's really interesting that they were of all the studios, of all the bigger studios, like you would have expected like maybe smaller studios to come up with something where they were using, I don't know, AI to do in between animation, for example, which I do think like eventually that's, for example, something that is going to be used. Like forget it. Like there's no chance in hell that a studio is going to be like, hey, instead of hiring, you know, dozens and dozens of animators to do in between work for traditional animation, we now have this tool that can make this possible, under the direction of a knowing and understanding animator. I'm sure they're going to do that, and I'm sure the at least not the animator's job, of course not, but the in betweening in animation, that is honestly, that should have died years ago. That is like one of the most horrendous, jobs that has ever been produced by an industry. There's not a single animator that I've ever talked to that says I loved doing, in between cells for this animation. I loved spending 20 hours a day doing hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of drawings. No, animators, great animators, they do the key animations, they do the key cells, and yeah, that is animation. That's like where great animation comes from historically. That's what they've always done. So but the grunt work, the horrible grunt work that is in betweening, come on, who would ever oppose to for, to an AI doing those things? Like it just doesn't make sense. It would make things way more efficient. You don't have to put animators through that horrendous process. Animators can now, that were in betweeners, can now concentrate on just being like core great animators, which is like understanding like the pacing of an animation, and just, those few images that have to be the important sort of beats of animation, instead of just
mm,
doing like, the horrible part of that work. I'm sure people are going to say like, no, there's beauty in that too. Fine, yes, but there's also, grueling amount of hours, and just artists like being horribly overworked because of those things. So I think again, this is so much more nuanced, but we're just, yeah, we're just not there. We're really really not there. But I'm gonna see. I'm gonna come clean. I'm gonna see the show.
tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it tonight because I enjoy those shows, and some of those shows are good, and some of those shows are terrible. I have no issue with saying like, "Wow, this is a terrible show," but in to be honest, I saw like I knew that the show was premiering today, and I was, oh, we'll see it. Like I was thinking, oh, I'll tell you tonight to like let's go watch the.
Did you see it alone?
No, of course not.
Oh, I thought you were
No,
going
no,
to
no.
say
And I was
that.
like, oh, I got to tell Danny if she wants to watch it. Like we can watch the show. And but then when I saw so many artists going like, what the fuck? It's like this is the end of the world. I was like, okay, now I'm like what País Llanero was saying. Now I'm like for sure gonna see it because I want to. At least I want to see the intro. It looks like Mid Journey from like a year and a half ago, which is kind of weird. But it does have like all the tellings of Mid Journey from a year ago,
Well, yeah, Salmon Kutcher
version
was
4
saying,
or something.
I looked at it and it looks like Mid Journey.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
100%.
it's Mid Journey. It has quote unquote correct hands that look weird, and it has the cooler look of Mid Journey.
Yeah, it's 100% Mid Journey. Like the fact that we already know how to identify Mid Journey is kind of freaky, but it 100% it looks like Mid Journey, and I'm sure also that tons like there was an artist team that was cleaning up stuff and reorganizing things and just it. I'm sure that the intro had art direction. I am positive it had art direction. I hopefully there's going to be a story about the team that did this and how they did it. I think it would benefit everyone to and it would probably make more people see the show, at least like spark their curiosity. But I would think it would be in their best interest to like in the next coming days for the team that did it to say like we're going to show you how we did this.
That would be very
They
cool.
would be awesome.
Yeah.
Like so many people are talking about it. Like just say it. You know what? Let me show you how we went about
Let
doing
me.
this. Yeah,
As
I think that
That would be
transparency
cool.
would be fucking amazing. But it's
Oh.
Disney, so who the hell knows? Like that's
So-
probably not going to happen.
Diego Gonzalez was saying, sometimes I feel alone as an artist in the opinion that AI is valid, that something very human lies behind code. País Llanero was saying, I'm just going to do random comments here and there to hear my song. Dana was saying, I'm annoyed that we anthropomorphize
Mhm.
statistic machines by calling it AI. But maybe it's the natures of humans that anthropomorphize everything, like Roombas, for instance.
Oh, we have our Roomba has a name.
Has a name. Of course.
And I hate it, by the way. I don't like it. I granted like I imposed on the thing a personality. And I believe that this thing
Hates
is out
you.
to get me and hates me.
You were like,
Like I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
You were like,
stop
it's-
it.
why is I don't know if I'm gonna say the name, but it was like, why is the Roomba knocking my door? And I was like, Nicolas, it's in the hallway. It
No,
has to.
no. You know
And
what
you
it
were
was?
like, you know what? It only knocks my door.
It fucking like every room was mapped, and this was when we were working in the other room. So
Yeah.
so I had like a room that now is who's there now? Samu's in there now. I was thinking about it because they actually switched recently. Like Fer was there originally, and then Samu is there.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
But I would close my door when I was working, and I would just hear the Roomba, and it wouldn't slam into any other door. Any other door.
Because all the doors were open.
It would
Because
get
your
to-
room was
it would
the
get
only
to
one
my,
that
it would get to my
our
room.
Roomba was
It would
prohibited
get to my room,
entry.
and it would be like, doof, 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 doof. I was like, this fucking thing. It knows it. It knows. It knows it's being annoying. It just fucking knows.
No, it was
Ah,
because
fuck it.
you were the one that closed the door. I mean, when I programmed the Roomba to go clean, it's like go clean the whole house. But you were like, no, I don't want her.
I don't want.
I don't
her
want
to-
him
No.
here. Because it's a him.
Yeah, it's a him.
You're like, I don't want him here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't want him. I don't want
And-
anything to do with that thing. Nothing.
That's why he knocked your door.
It's the devil in disguise.
Julia was saying, I want a Roomba so bad.
They are cool. They are kind of cool. And I think they do a really shitty job, by the way.
No.
Yeah, ours is like an actual Roomba. So it's supposed to do the, it's like the original. They're supposed
Ours
to do a good
even
job.
cleans
It's fine.
after herself, which is
Oh god.
amazing.
Now I always like see it going around, and I'm always like, you know what? I'm gonna take the broom and
Oh, come on.
yeah,
No.
I trust myself with the broom way more than that thing.
No.
Hell yeah.
No. Julia dice, quiero saber el nombre.
Ahí Dani después le manda
Sí,
la
yo le
referencia.
cuento, Julia. No, creo que el nombre de nuestra. Como viste
Ah,
que tiene nombre.
J Polvin.
J. Polvin se
J
llama.
Polvin se llama. J Balvin, pero J
J.
Polvin.
Polvin es.
Sí, gracias.
Sí. Em, Diego Gonzalez was saying great artists were made from grunts. Work like in betweening. Kirby is the first that comes to mind.
Sure. Yeah, but no, but Chuck Jones, never one of the greatest animators of all time. Chuck Jones never did in betweening. When he was directing anything, he just did like I forget what they're called, like, cuz I'm not an animator, so forgive me. Like, this is, I shouldn't be talking about animation because I'm not an animator, but I love animation. But he was doing like the key cells. What are they called? You know, he would do those. He didn't do in betweening. Like, that's what he would do, and then off to, like, the dozens of people doing all the other drawings. I honestly don't think that it's a it is I don't think that there's a huge value in that work aside from just giving you discipline. But there's so many ways of acquiring discipline through artwork that don't have to be like, fuck me, let me slave over hundreds and hundreds of drawings. I've met young animators that are like, I did 10,000 drawings. I did 20,000 drawings for my 2 minute, short. And it's like, my God, what the fuck? It's like, it's so ridiculous. And I know it's part of it, but I don't know. I think when it gets to the point where you realize, at least in that sense, that you didn't have to be. And I'm solely focusing on this because video games, AI is helping video games in the sense that they're helping us, video game players, not need, just insane rigs, like insane machines to play video games. But AI, is actually helping so that it can do predictive animation, and it can just make, it can make your PC, like your not standard PC, but at least not like a beast of a machine, be able to play like incredibly complicated games and one of those things is by doing like predictive animation. It's just like understanding the frame of animation it comes from, and it's helping that out so it doesn't have to be processed. So there's tons of things that I guess we do lump them up, but there's tons of things where it's being like insanely helpful for consumers that, we as artists just tend to see one of those aspects and then just want to crucify the whole of it. But it's not the case. And that's what I mean. Like, the conversation is way, way more nuanced, way more nuanced. So, but I'm hoping that if what happened with this intro leads to like transparency, I would love that. I don't think Disney has the guts to do that, though. I really don't. I don't think they're the studio that would come right out and say like, yeah, we did this. And I'm guessing like the artists that are under contract, they can't say anything. So sadly, we're probably gonna have to wait like years maybe to know exactly how they went about doing that. But I would love if they would come out and say like, hey, a lot of people have been curious about this process. Let us share with you what we did, for this intro. And maybe it was in-house. Maybe all the feeding to the algorithm was done based on images that were produced in-house, which is, I guess you could then say like, well, you still use the tool, that the essence of that tool is not something that we share, that we or agree upon. Sure. It still may hinge upon that bigger conversation, but at least they could say like, no, we actually, filtered our artist's work, and we thought it was really interesting to see how, this algorithm would interpret our artist's work in the same way. And I guess this is going to be the tone of the conversation on the studio side, they're going to say, in the same way that the scroll tried to imitate human beings without really understanding what it means to be human. So I think that if they were going to do it for a series, it had to be this one and it had to be that intro, and it kind of makes sense. So I think we should at least say, like, you know what? I get it. I don't agree with it. But I get it, and I get that it's not the most, it's actually quite intelligent to do that. You may not agree with it, and some people would be like, it's totally tone deaf. It's absolutely tone deaf. And a lot of people were like, oh, how would you? Why would you deny the the possibility of some willing artists to do like a kick-ass intro for that show? And you know what? And I'm a pretty mindful artist. And you know what I was thinking? And I've watched all the Disney Marvel shows, all of them. All of them. Danny knows this. Danny, I think you've watched all of them either.
Yeah.
But I've watched all of them. Either good ones, bad ones, all of them. Because I'm a fan. So, I'm a comic book fan. So I watch them. And I was thinking of like Hawkeye, and I was like, what the fuck was Hawkeye's intro? I was like, I remember the logo for sure. I remember like the sort of geometry, like the font type. I remember the geometry
I think I
of the
don't
logo.
remember the intro.
No, of course not. Or the Winter Soldier one, not the Winter Soldier, but like Captain America, like the new Captain America.
I don't remember
and
that either.
yeah, I think it was like a espionage like sort of intro, but I was thinking about it and I was like, you know which one I remember? It's a terrible show, but the She-Hulk one,
Yeah.
because it was more like marker and like old school
Yeah, and the
kind
one
of
of the-
storyboarding.
I forgot the name. The one of the girl,
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel. I remember that intro
A little
too.
bit, yeah. But they're not like legendary. They're not
No.
like, it's not like as if you were given, they're not the Thundercats intro, for God's sake. They're never going to be like, holy shit, what an intro. No, it's just an intro. It's just like, it's a whatever intro. So I was thinking like, oh, yeah, I probably missed those intros. And I had to watch the Hawkeye intro this morning and be like, I think maybe I watched this on the first
Maybe you
episode.
skipped.
First of all,
Yeah.
it's like the Hawkeye one, it's like 1:50.
Oh God.
Who the fuck watches like 1:50 intro?
Well, but I have to say, when it's a good intro, for example, we couldn't see Succession without
Oh, you
me
love that.
asking you to leave all the song
You
because
like
I
the
love
song
the song.
too. Yeah, the song was really
The
the
dark
intro. Yeah,
which
it's
is
fucking amazing.
always watch.
Always, yeah,
the
because it was a
intro.
tonal piece. Like
Yeah.
you watched it and you were like, it's almost like you are
You're
preparing.
getting in the mood.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
ready to see,
100%.
an amazing show.
But it's more rare to have those kind of intros because I
Yeah.
have to say that I usually skip the intros. If I don't really like the intro, like if it's not something that I like as a piece itself,
Yeah,
I don't see it.
No.
I skip it.
mind you, there's a skip intro in
Yeah.
every
Platform.
single one of those streaming services. You can skip every single intro, which makes it like could you imagine being an artist and saying like, I guess I spent 5 months of my life doing this thing and everyone skips it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's horrendous. That's so fucking horrendous. So I don't see, like, people were talking like, oh my God, the opportunity. And I was like, I don't know. I don't remember any of these intros. Like they're just there because they have to be there, but they're not. By the way, the Hawkeye one it wasn't great. It wasn't great animation. It really wasn't. I'm sorry, but it wasn't. It almost looked like Flash animation. It was very bare bones animation. It wasn't great. It had design elements that were kind of cool, but it's not great. It's not amazing animation. I don't know. So they took a chance with something that is probably negligible.
And we're going to see it. So
I'm
we're going to give
I'm
it
curious about
a
it.
shot.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. Anyways, Danny, we should leave it
Stop.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of late.
Yeah.
And
Chili
I-
has to pee and
I
poo.
did apparently a imperceptible drawing.
Like the tattoos. Invisible ink.
I know.
It was an invisible ink drawing.
It was like, let's draw for 3.5 hours. Nothing.
No,
Yeah.
but we can see it.
Ephemeral.
And just to answer to País Llanero,
Ay, llanero.
was saying that why the paintings were to decide if you were going to do a drawing, that's on me because I had no idea that today's session was going to be a drawing.
Yeah, I decided that
So,
as soon as I sat down. So
so I just set up everything for like the usual painting setup.
yeah, I mean,
And it's a beautiful
come
palette.
on,
I
palette.
like it. It's
The palette is part of our painted
gets you in the
lives.
mood
Yeah,
of our painted
and what are we gonna
lives.
put here? Like, if I put my color pencils here, they just roll down. So.
Oh, and Paisano was also asking for the colors.
Oh, let's show them again.
That was at the beginning,
Yeah,
so you can show them there.
they are the very
Cheap.
Yeah. So what did we establish? $2.
$2
$2
for 24
24.
colors.
So I can't do the math.
No, even
8 cents a piece, maybe
no,
around. I'm gonna say yes.
yeah, like let's say $2 for the 24. Yeah.
Yeah. So I 8 cents a piece. So I drew with 16 cents today. There we go.
Perfect.
Pretty good.
So that's it.
That's it.
Thank you everyone for being here with us.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
We're not gonna be here.
TBD.
It's our anniversary.
Yes.
You guys can wish us congratulations.
It's
we
our
have been
7th.
7 years together.
Yes.
Yeah. Which
Best
means that the
7
next
years.
7 years are going to be horrendous because these have been amazing.
I know.
I hope that's biblical.
No, I know that
I
we're
don't
gonna
think
have an amazing life
That's
together.
biblical and mirror. It's always 7, isn't it? 7 years of good luck. Like
I have no idea.
7 años de vacas flacas, 7 años de vacas gordas. So
No.
what lies ahead is misery,
No,
apparently.
it's amazing.
But I wouldn't spend misery together with anyone but you.
Me too. I love
Yeah.
you, and I know that we have all of our lives ahead, and they're gonna be beautiful
Yeah.
if we're together. So,
Sure. Yes.
thank you so much. Dana was saying happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Is it a different day from John Day?
Oh, John Day
don't
is
talk
is
about
our
John.
Painted Lives
Talk about
anniversary.
John. No, I'm joking.
Oh, John? I mean,
Don't talk about John.
no. Well, it would have
Yeah,
been,
no. John Day is our Painted
a
Lives
happier day.
channel, like the creation of the channel anniversary.
Yeah.
Simon Kutcher was saying congratulations.
Thank
you. Cody was saying happy anniversary. I'm happy anniversary.
Happy University.
Happy
Daniela.
anniversary.
Danielle. There's a joke in there that's actually really good.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna.
I'm happy
get,
that
like,
you found each other.
Thank
said
you.
Cody,
We're
you.
we're the happiest.
Juan Ibe dice feliz aniversario. Muchas gracias,
muy
Juan.
amable.
Carla was saying happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. You both are beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Y Julia dice, ay, mañana los felicito.
Muy amable.
O sea,
Julia.
no hoy.
You know that just to end on this note, I used to watch on TBS all the reruns of the Flintstones when I was a kid. I used to love the Flintstones.
Okay, I don't know where you're going with
Yeah,
this.
no. So there is an episode that it's Fred and Wilma's anniversary,
Mm-hmm.
and they sing this song, and it's like happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, and they sang that song for the whole show, and it's always been stuck in my head.
So you
So
have
every
to
time
sing
I say,
it tomorrow.
every time I think
for
of happy
me.
anniversary, it's like the Flintstones anniversary, and I'm guessing Fred Flintstone forgot Wilma's, forgot their anniversary or something. He tried to do something nice for Wilma, and so I think it was somebody at a piano.
Yeah, but you
Barney-
promised. You
Barney
made
was
me
singing.
promise
What's that?
last year
What did I say? What?
that this year we were not going to have presents.
No, and we
each
kind
other.
of a present that I had for Danny was kind of ruined.
It was not
Sadly,
ruined, but-
sadly.
No, and I'm happy that happened because you know that I love giving you gifts.
Yeah,
And last year you made me promise that
Yeah.
for this year, and I told you just for this year, because the next year I want to give you something, and you were like, okay, just for that year, but please.
yeah. But
And
did
I was
got
fine
you.
with
I
that.
did get it. Yeah, of course. So Danny has like an artist that's one of her favorite wood carving.
Like I'm so
artists,
happy
like
for
this
that,
German
but I
dude.
just
That's
feel
incredible.
like you betrayed me because I wanted to.
If there's one way
It's the best
I can
betray-
feel okay by betraying you, it's this one.
the
So
best
I,
betrayment
yeah,
ever, but
but it was ruined because it was supposed to be a surprise, but I had my Photoshop open because I was sending him the images that I wanted to pick from, and I thought I had closed everything, and then we were about to go live, and Danny always opens Photoshop to do the thumbnails for the videos, and she opened up, and it was all the images with of the pieces that I was asking him about. So it was terrible. So that
But
totally
I had no
ruined
idea
everything.
that that's why you had them there. I
I
was like,
know,
oh,
but
that's why.
they were all there,
I
and the
told you.
prices were there. I
Oh,
mean, it was like
no,
it
I
was-
I
felt
just
terrible.
thought like
I
the
felt
names,
like an idiot.
and I was like, oh, that's my favorite artist. Were you
Yeah,
looking at him and you were like, you know what? It's ruined, and I was like, what's ruined? I don't get it.
No, because I didn't. I was like fucking idiot. Like
No, because I didn't even
I was trying
suspect
to
it.
eliminate all the trace,
I didn't
every
suspect
single trace.
anything because I trusted,
I know,
you.
but I was like,
and I trusted that
I
you were
felt
not
so
gonna
stupid. I was
get
like,
me anything.
really? I left fucking Photoshop open. Like, fuck me.
It's karma because you said no gifts.
Yeah.
But it's thank you so much because
No,
I
no.
absolutely love that artist,
Yeah,
and
well,
I'm gonna be so happy
it
that
still
we
had to
can
get
have
here, but
that we can have a piece.
and it's gonna
of
take a
him.
little bit to get here, but
I don't care.
It's okay. It's it'll be on its way. So
I'm so happy. Thank you. I'm so
I'm
grateful.
very happy too.
Hey, Julie.
Anyways, Daniel Lira.
Thank
let's,
you, everyone,
Stop this nonsense.
and we'll see you soon.
Soon.